Welcome, welcome everyone to the technical difficulties edition of the 93rd Home Theater
My
Hub
fault.
Live. What's going on, everyone? So we're going to be recapping CEDIA today, and as you can see, we have a great panel of guests here. So Ike is in a different spot because he decided to do something crazy today. So Ike, how's it going, sir?
So far, so good. I'm sitting in the theater. It's the whole theater show, right? So you made it sound like I'm in the doghouse.
Oh,
I'm in a good place,
No,
And
absolutely.
it feels comfortable, so I might be doing a couple of shows from here.
Don't be falling asleep.
That I
Couple
can't
of-
guarantee. No guarantees
Well,
on
Chuck.
that one.
What's going on, Paul?
You're on mute.
Let me unmute. Yeah. Hey, nah, not much. Just catching up with work, man. It's been grueling skipping
Yeah.
a week.
You got confused on what show you're on today, I guess, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
jeez.
Repping the Daily Hi-Fi. And what are we
And,
drinking here?
We're gonna drink a Paloma sour.
There you
ale
go.
With man, can't even read they make their lettering so small.
How many of you had?
With grapefruit, lime juice, agave, and sea salt. So cheers. I haven't had
Nice.
any. So, gotta get while the getting's good, Had some drink with Corey this last week, so that was good.
Yes, sir.
Corey and DJ.
Yep.
Yep. So for the first time on the Home Theater
Yeah.
Hub, Mr. DJ. What's
Yeah.
going on, sir?
Not much. Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
man.
Been a long time coming. We've been talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just schedules, unfortunately, just
Yeah.
don't meet all the time, right? So,
Yeah. Well, that's the hardest part of doing stuff like this is scheduling.
yep.
So, we all want to sit down and talk. Just
Absolutely.
getting the timing right.
And Mr. Corey for the first time on the show also.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. We ran into Corey on the streets in downtown Denver. So he stopped us and said, "Hey, look, it's the crew," and then wound up having dinner with us and some drinks. So it was great hanging out with you, Corey. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Same here, man. I really enjoyed you guys, and man, you guys all what I thought you would be.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Mr. Derek, how about you, sir? How are you doing tonight?
Doing great. I tried to kill myself with the car today, so it's much better to be here.
I hear you. Well, this is your first time on the show also, right? So
Absolutely.
other than being in the chat, so we definitely welcome you and thank you for joining. I know you're in the chat just about every single week, so thanks a lot for joining us tonight. And Terrence returning, Mr. Dolby Home Cinema. Look at that sign in the back, DJ.
That's
at that.
awesome. Yeah, I know. I was admiring that. But
Very
between
nice.
that and your like home theater news network background you got going, this place is rocking.
Thanks for the invite, fellas. Appreciate it. Glad to be back on.
No, it was good seeing you out there at CEDIA. So appreciate you joining us on this panel just to discuss our afterthoughts, right?
Right.
So, man, I if you got, I'm just going to start off with one word for CEDIA, right? If I'm just going to go around the room, Ike, what would your word be about 2025 CEDIA?
Yeah. Gotta find one word, man. It was great.
It was great. Okay. All right. I have to agree with that. Paul, how about yourself? What would you say? One word.
Busy.
Busy is correct. Yeah, definitely. DJ, how about yourself?
Same as it is every year. People.
Yeah.
It's a people.
Corey?
People.
It was amazing for me. It was my first time, so
And Derek, how about yourself?
Learning.
Yeah. And Terrence, how about you?
It was good to be back. The last time I hit CEDIA was when it was in Atlanta, and that's when City was. They go to a city and they'll stay. They'll go back to back, and then they'll go to another city and go back to back. They never came back to Atlanta, so I was supposed to go during COVID. Then they pulled out because it started surging, and then I missed it last year, so I was glad to be able to attend this year, and it was great bumping into people that you see, on the YouTube, and then also just experiencing a lot of the technology and the sound rooms and just the whole atmosphere. If you love this hobby like we do, and just to be amongst all of it, it was a great experience. So definitely had a good time.
Yeah. So my word is overwhelming. So I mean, if you can see this floor plan, it is just, I mean, it is unbelievable how much stuff there is to do on this floor, right? And then just to kind of get your bearing after a day and a half or a day, trying walking around here for the first time, because from what I understand, the sound rooms are in the same spot every year, right? So once you
Give or
go
take.
here, give or take, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like, man, just overwhelming for me, just looking at how many different vendors, and then you find rooms inside of booths and everything else. So I can just tell you that I didn't cover. I probably didn't cover a quarter of this thing in 3 days, right? So and then not only that, this is just the top floor. There was a underneath floor to that too, with additional sound rooms. Now those rooms were a lot bigger. They were I think there was about 5 or 6 rooms downstairs underneath of this that were a lot bigger than these booths and stuff like that. So but yeah, man, I mean, it just overall just overwhelming for me, as a first timer going to CEDIA. But I gotta say, I loved every minute of it. Literally, I was going through videos and putting together stuff, and I know I probably have, when I have 1, 2, 3, I probably have about, with just videos alone, maybe 30 different vendors. So just walking around interviewing people, and I want to say thank you to a lot of those vendors, because yeah, some of them we did have appointments with, but most of them we did not, and they were gracious enough to stop what they were doing, and some of us were even asking us, hey, can you shoot can you shoot this for us, and when's the video coming out, and we definitely want to know when everything is, when your video is coming out, so could you email us and everything else like that. So just want to say thank you to all of the vendors that were so gracious to us, as media and as dealers, to let us partake and ask questions and film and everything else like that. So what would you say that your favorite part about CEDIA was?
Oh, I think it was just getting to meet the people, right? A lot of the people that the last time I probably saw them was at the last CEDIA I went to 2 years ago, right? So it's always a very good opportunity to catch up with people. I think, and I told you this even before we left Denver, was my goal was to interact more with people than even the technology and the rooms, and I think I achieved that. Right, I spoke to more people, and not just the same people that I knew, but a couple of people that I wanted to reach out to, and just making new friends. So I think that was the goal I went to see there with, and I sort of achieved it. Every other thing else was sort of secondary, and I achieved those things too. But it was the people, just catching up, hanging out, and at least saying, "Look, I just want to enjoy the show," and I think we did.
Very good. How about you, Paul?
Man, I mostly liked the people. I mean, as far as just the people that we met, I'm still tired. I've been working long days since I got back, so I'm
Come
a
on,
little
Corey.
out of sorts.
Corey came here for the energy, man. Come on
Yeah,
now.
I know, right?
That's my
I
guy.
left it back in Colorado, man. But yeah, it really is. It's just the people, getting to finally meet, some of our subscribers and Joe and Shauna and some of the people from the Daily Hi-Fi crew off to the side as well, and getting to hang out with Abe in person. People are just people, but no matter, and I've done this in my line of work, we back in the 80s, video conferencing, big deal, right? But no matter how realistic you make video conferencing, you can't emulate body language and being in person. It's not the same. You just get this vibe, this feeling, like I'm a joker like 90% of the time, and if you don't see my body language and my little quirky actions, sometimes it's like, wait, what an ass, which that's true, but it's just
Both can be true, right?
yeah. But it's one of those things. It's like, oh yeah, he's got a beer in his back pocket.
Yeah, and you find out that people can also be nicer in person, right? When you see them online and they talk trash, and then they see you in person, and,
that's not
they
me.
smile at you.
Like, why are you looking at
I'm
me?
the same ass everywhere. There is like no difference. It's like, oh yeah, no, that's the same guy.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, your keyboard warrior disappears, right?
Oh yeah.
Like when I first met Ike, I was like, "Damn, Ike, you're like 6'5", man."
Yeah, that's the big thing when you
surprised
first
about
meet
Ike,
everybody.
too.
Yeah. So how about you, DJ? What would you say your favorite part of CEDIA was?
Same thing. Yeah, the people. Like I said, it's like the first year is overwhelming, and you're just blown away by the gear, you're blown away by everything. But then after, this was my third time, and it doesn't get less exciting, but it settles down, and you just can't wait to talk to people, and you showed the floor done, and it's like that kind of, you do a couple laps through now, and I'm like, okay, I kind of get the gist of where everything is. People move from year to year, and you'll go and see them, but now I have more opportunity to talk to more people and see and really get to know people even more. So running into you guys this year was awesome on the bus. That was offsite with Brett. That was a great time.
No one talks about the bang bus, bro.
Yeah. I called it a limo. Okay, Paul. So you gotta jazz it up for the people. They don't know what it really was. You just say Brett sent me a limo. I'm getting on it. Okay. So that's what we did, right, guys?
It's the base
Absolutely. The base bus. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
So how about you, Corey? Was this your first time at CEDIA?
Yes, it's my first time. I would say meeting you guys, and also you guys told me about the Epson room, and I went down there the next day, and actually that was my best. I would say the best thing about CEDIA for me. Sitting in with Rob Brennan, looking at the comparisons, I got a chance to see something I really wanted to see.
Yeah. No, that was definitely eye opening. The Epson room. We'll talk about that too. Derek, how about you, sir?
It was the sessions. Honestly, I went and I did as many of the sessions I could possibly get into, but it wasn't enough time. They could have done like 3 more days of sessions, and I maybe could have gotten to all the ones I wanted to go into. But I did one with Grimani, and did one with Matthew Pose and one with Adam Pels and Eric from Perlisten. So I got to experience a lot of great stuff. And then one really good one with a couple of guys, JJ Cannon out of Houston and Chris Gamble out of the UK, talking about how to manage business and 5 brand principle and all this stuff. But that piece was amazing. This is my first time. I'd never been before. And I was running around with like a chicken with my head cut off, but I had a fantastic time just learning and experiencing it all.
So you
Soaking
went
it
to
in.
CEDIA, because the rest of us went to CEDIA. You went to
Yeah.
the real CEDIA.
Yeah, I did the conference and the expo. Yep. Yeah, I was there
That's
for
good.
business purposes, but that was the struggle. Like, there's so much smart home stuff that I really wanted to go experience and see, but then there's all the cool home theater stuff. It's so nice. So I was trying to balance all that, be responsible and experience the cool stuff and whatnot. So, but I will say the people, like, there's a lot of people that I met that I hadn't met before, like Alex from Atlanta Home Theater and some other folks that were just so amazing. I mean, obviously, I met you guys at M-Wave and already knew that y'all were awesome, so that wasn't a surprise. But there was several people that I met along the way, and just everyone was as nice as they could be, especially a noob at this whole business and not knowing what the hell I'm doing. And everyone was nice. They're like, "Oh, yeah, let me show you how to do this. Let's get you taken care of."
That's
So.
awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. It's good to hear that. So, Terrence, how about you, sir? You said you've returned? This was a return for you. What did you enjoy most about CEDIA?
I gotta say, man, once you get over the sensory overload, once you first hit the floor, right, and then I think it was Derek who said once it all starts to settle and DJ says it starts to settle and calm down,
Mm-hmm.
then you're able to kind of like, okay, get your bearings and make your way around how to attack all of it, right? Because you got so many days to get so much in.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta say the best part, man, at the end of the day, was the people.
Yep,
I mean,
I agree.
At the end of the day, the hobby brings us all. We share the common hobby and everything, but the people at the end, that camaraderie that you built, especially like with you guys. I mean, I visited Ike. I finally got a chance to meet Dunn and you, Paul. You know what I'm saying? So that was great. Finally get you guys.
Hey, someone's got to be on the bottom of the list.
Yeah. No, man. Everybody's on equal footing, man. Everybody's on equal footing. So yeah, got a chance to
We're all at the bottom.
Yeah, we're all at the bottom.
That is true.
Got a chance, to talk to a lot of people that you talk to behind the scenes and do on your phone and through the screen that you interact with. Now you're actually able to put those faces with the names and hang out and make and just make the most of it while you're there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because as we know, tomorrow's not promised, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, my favorite thing was meeting all you guys in person, right? So, I've met DJ before, but meeting people that walk up and say, "Oh, I watched the show," that was exciting for me, So it was surreal, actually. Corey stopped us in the middle of the road. So look at the crew, so it was humbling for me, to be honest with you. So
yeah,
appreciate
really
all you guys. Yep, absolutely. So let's move over to the sound rooms. So I believe I'm going to pull back up this floor plan here. Did everyone get a chance to see all of the sound rooms?
Yeah, I did.
I don't think I saw.
I think.
Well, I don't know.
If you pop one in and I'm like, oh, where was that one? That can happen because sometimes you think they're all
that's
in one
true.
area,
That's
but
true.
then
That's
they'll
true.
be like, yeah. Because you like 3 years ago, remember Gramani's room was like way back in the middle, sound room 11, and it wasn't over on the side where all the sound rooms were this year.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about the ones that are labeled sound rooms down here for right now. But Cricks.
Yep.
So just randomly, DJ, let's start with you. Were you able to partake in the Cricks room?
Yeah. yeah, it was. I thought it was nice. I thought it was a little bright for me. Little kind of like it was just I felt like it was just a little too strong in the highs for me, like it was coming at me, and I mean the imaging was good, but I just felt for me I was like it was just a little too strong, especially compared to some of the other rooms where I mean you get to go from like these high-end room to high-end room, and this one just felt a little, maybe that's what it was, it just felt a little bit higher to me, so it was kind of like, but I mean it is pretty cool. And they're coming in, you know, this first time in the country.
Yeah,
Summertime.
This is a Australian brand that came to the U.S. And put this sound room together. I mean, I got this one probably in my top 5, to be honest with you. I thought it was a well put together room.
Wait a minute. Top 5 out of 5?
No, there's
Okay.
other rooms
there's
that we're
other
going to mention.
rooms.
There's other rooms that we're going to
They
mention.
made the cut.
Hey, that's all that
They didn't
matters,
get
right?
cut off of the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely there's other rooms to mention, but yeah, I mean, I thought that it was well put together. I kind of agree with you. I think it was a little loud, is what I think.
Yeah.
DJ. So whether that came across as highs or just being being pushed, right? I did feel the same way, that it was that it was pushed beyond reference, and I did start to get a little fatigue in there for sure. So how about you, Ike?
Yeah, I agree with it being a little bright, but I'm going to take it from a different, like, I'm going to approach it from 2 ways, right? One, it was first time getting to see creeks, right? We've heard about it if you follow Butte Montage and things like that. And so I like the speakers in terms of just the way they look, like the way Butte on the creek wall, right? That is something that I would not have any problem having in the theater as long as you can showcase it. So I think just going by the design of the speakers, I like the way they look because I was really interested in seeing them up close, right? I only see them on YouTube channel, so getting to see them and just see the way that it was designed, it looked like really good speakers. Now, when it comes to the sound, yes, I agree. I think it was kind of really loud. So I might chalk it to maybe just the way it was calibrated, right? But I think I think those can be really good speakers.
Yeah, and look,
Maybe if properly dialed in a home theater, in a room environment and things like that, But yeah, it was good to finally get to listen to Craig's speakers and just get to see the whole Craig's wall and the way they kind of set it up with those woofers and everything.
yeah, and look, to their credit, they're fighting a noise floor of like 70 to 80 dB before you even start, right? So so that that could be part of the reason why they were pretty cranked up too, right? So
Yeah,
Paul,
and being their first time at CEDIA, right? They probably wanted to just go all out, right? And just like make some noise. I don't know what the intention was, but they look like really good speakers, and I think in a much controlled environment, which, I'm trying not to go on a off tangent or kind of a rant, but I would say this, is I think sometimes when you go to shows like CEDIA, right, you got to temper your expectation, right? You got to manage the expectation, understand that some of those rooms take 3 days to put together, right? And you have so many components that are coming to play that may have not necessarily practiced together, right? It's not like a football team where you practice and you go play the game and then everyone expects you to be on point, right? These guys are coming in trying to throw all these different tools together and set up a room and then play it as loud as you can get. So, I try to manage my expectation and not to down any of those components that make up those rooms simply because, the one time I heard it for 15 minutes, I didn't feel like it was the best.
right. No,
So
and like we said,
reel
they're
myself
fighting
back
a
in.
lot. They're fighting a lot of outside noise and and everything else. And obviously there's rooms, what are they like? Maybe the walls are like 6 inches thick at the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how about you, Paul? What did you think about Cricks?
Man, I'd have to see a damn picture of which room was which to even remember. Like,
It's a lot of
Last one on
beer,
the
man.
end.
Like,
A lot of beer.
It was the far room.
and that's true. There's a couple things that I remember about a couple rooms, but this is what I'll say. All the rooms were, I mean, you're talking like the best of the best, right? So your bottom of the barrel on this list is, you know, it's like comparing Olympic athletes, right? The bottom Olympic athlete beats 99.9% of the population. You know, it's like you're talking the best of the best. And that's basically what all these rooms are. So it really, like, they were all good. There was only 2 of them that weren't too loud for me, out of all of them. And it wasn't that they were set up necessarily too loud. It's just like, oh, I could always tell, oh, here's that one scene. This is where I know my ears are going to start hurting a little bit. And I'm like, uh-oh, get ready. So like some of the prior scenes, and I do remember that about that, right? It's like, oh, okay, the last 2 or 3 movies were like, and it might be the movies, right? The movies were hotter, you know, unless you have someone riding the volume back there, which you know, or you do even worse because you could compress everything to like, oh, hey, let's gate everything, but that's going to sound even stranger, especially if you've heard the movies before. But you know, they're all fully capable, amazing rooms, right? So it's, you know, it's hard to you know, it's hard to remember, honestly, for me, like, oh, what was my experience? You know, my audio memory is door to door at best, let alone week to week. I'm like, man, I need a picture. You got to show me. If you said, hey, what did you think of this room? And I would be like, oh, yeah, I remember.
That's the one we had the 2 o'clock appointment, and we went in on Thursday. The Australian one, they had the wall, right?
They had the what now?
They had the speaker wall. It was right next to SR 11, right next to the next level.
Yeah, Paragon's home. It was right next to Paragon's home theater.
It was the
last one on the end,
across from the dais subwoofer.
Yeah, the right in front of the big old.
I don't remember going in. What chairs did they have?
We had an appointment, and we went in there.
That's the only thing that Paul worried about was the
chair.
chair.
Like, oh man,
he's getting off my. I'm getting off my feet.
Are you talking about the PMC room?
No, the Cricks.
No,
the
Cricks.
The one on the other
you're talking about
end.
the one that was across. You're saying it was this wall of speakers across from the Lumigen room in Cricks.
So the Cricks room had the wall inside of it.
Oh yeah, okay, my bad. Yeah.
The wall of sound.
The wall of sound.
Right.
Yeah, man.
So Corey, were you able to partake in the Cricks room?
No, I didn't get a chance to make it in that one.
Okay, no problem. What about you, Derek?
No, that was one of those. I was standing in line next to y'all when y'all came out. I was at Lumigen, and I wanted to go in there, but I had a appointment I had to shoot over to for the one of the sessions. That was one of my challenges. There was so many different things. Like I was back and forth, but I will echo what y'all are saying. All these rooms were freaking amazing, and they were fighting so much noise. The first day, I went straight to one of the other rooms, and it was like 9:15, and you could already hear the noise outside of the room while you're waiting for it to start. Like that's how much sound leakage there was just sitting in the room. You could hear people talking outside.
Right.
So,
Terrence, what about you? Any were you able to partake into the Cricks room? What did you think, if so?
Yeah, so Cricks, I've been wanting to hit them for years. So they finally made it to our market, finally. And they actually lived up to, I really didn't have any expectation, but they made an impression on me. They sound really, really good. So to talk about these rooms, how they were set up. So I hit that one right after the Lumigen room, right after when the show first opened up, right? So from my understanding, a lot of these sound rooms went back and did recalibrations, went by other people saying, hey, can you turn it up? Plus that we was talking about when I thought you were talking about the wall of speakers, because across from that room, you had PNC booth, the Deus, and Procella, right?
Mhm.
So they were making a lot of, they were turning their stuff up to demo it for, vendors coming by and whatnot. So I'm sure that's why Cricks increased their volume. The only complaint I really had, I would say about with Cricks was they could have added a tad more bass, even though the rep did say they kind of toned it down the bass because they know everybody else was going to do that. And they just really wanted you to hear the product and really hear how the speaker sounded. So it wasn't really turned up loud. The bass was kind of like in that medium area, whatnot. But it was very impressive, especially the Prey demo that stood out the most to me doing a script. But they weren't using a script because I think they were using a Zedu or something like that. But that Prey scene was really, really impressive and showed how really, really how good their speakers sound.
Yeah.
So based on what you guys are saying, I think they turned it up by the time you guys went and got it, because it was not loud at all. Because doing those quieter moments in certain clips that they showed, you could hear the guys across from their booth demoing their speakers.
Okay.
So I think that's the reason why they turned it up, because they had that competition.
Yeah, and
yeah, and like you said, you got to take it to, even though they did their best for these prefab rooms with acoustic treatments, they did go the extra mile to give so each product could shine. But to really, truly, truly see what these products can do is in a dedicated space with a very low noise floor. So I did take that in consideration based on what they were up against. But you still kind of get an idea of what they could do. So from my just wrapping up with Chris Room, I thought it sounded really, really good. And it was in my top of rooms that I experienced.
Very good. Very good. So let's move on to the Lumigen room, which is the Paragon, right?
Paragon Home Theater.
Paragon Home Theater. So that room featured Lumigen, next level speakers. What projector was in that room? I'm trying to remember.
Digital projection.
Yeah,
digital projections. They eVision. It was they new 10,000 lumen DLP RGB projector. Which was really amazing. That projector stood out, and that would be up against Epson 7000. They're in the same price range, and it did win AVS's best award. But that projector was very, very impressive. And you can get that projector with the lens for $27K.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was their first, like, them coming down into this residential space with a projector like that. And I thought it was
it was true 4K too, right?
Yeah, true 4K.
It wasn't so yeah, I mean, next level once again, want to shout out to them for helping myself, Ike, and Paul get into the show. So we definitely appreciate them. Let's talk about their room. So I got to tell you, if you want volume, those next level speakers, they're going to handle whatever you throw at them, because I'm telling you what, it was cranked in there. I bet you it was plus 20, plus 15, plus 20. And I didn't hear any distortion, and my ears were not fatiguing, but I knew it was loud. And I thought that theater performed really, really well. Like you said, the projection itself was amazing. I thought that, that I've never seen digital projection before, and being a native 4K projector, I thought it had really good color saturation in that picture. So yeah, hats off to them. They put together a heck of a room. So we'll start down the bottom. Terrence, just tell us what you thought about that one.
I thought, I was looking forward to seeing Sound Room 11, and it didn't disappoint. I mean, it was a really, really good room, and Next Level sounded great. I would say just the overall presentation of it. If you want, like you said, for one thing that stood out to me about those speakers, by them being horn loaded, usually you think they have a more forward, like in your face type of sound, and they were pretty neutral sounding. And oh yeah, shout out to Stephen Smith, Home Theater Gurus. He did do the layout for that room for
Yep.
Yeah, so it was definitely a great sounding room, and from all and picture presentation as well. So anybody who's interested in their products or wanted to hear them or on the fence, I can tell you, I'll let you guys speak too as well, but definitely don't sleep on them.
Oh, speaking of Home Theater Gurus, they're in the house.
Yeah.
Home Theater Gurus in the house. Thank you for joining, sir. So, how about you, DJ? What you think about that particular room?
Oh, I love the Next Level Acoustics. I've been wanting to hear them for a while in person, and yeah, they were like Terrence said. I thought that the word I was going to use, Terrence, was smooth. I thought the imaging around the room was just like dead on. I probably did that demo 2 or 3 times, and actually more than that now that I think of it. I was in the front row. First time I was in there, I was in the back row, and that's one of the music demos they used. I can't remember if it was the Greatest Showman or the Lady Gaga there, whatever. But there was somebody screams from the background, and it just was like, I was like, what the? It was
that
like
was
perfect.
the Greatest Showman at the end. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it sounded awesome. And then when I was at the front of the room, I was listening for that in particular, and I was like, yep, there it is. And it just, I mean, but the imaging around the room I thought was great. And then, like I said to you guys that night, it was the bass is what really impressed me. They were only running 4 subs in that room, and that Greatest Showman clip, and it was just hitting you in the chest hard. Like you felt it every beat of that drum. And I thought that impressed the hell out of me, more so even than the picture, which I thought was great.
It wasn't just 4 subs too. It was 4 15s. Like,
yeah,
that'd been 4 18s. That would have been okay, fine. But 4 15s, and they were relatively small.
Yeah, in a room like that, it's got 4 walls and a ceiling, but is that really sealed? Like we were saying before, we're talking,
Ish.
And it's still pounding you like that, which is really good. And then, I mean, you go down, and we're going to talk about it in a bit, but a few ways down, we've got the infrasonics, and that's super impressive. But you come down to this room, and you get punched in the chest like that on just a few clips, and it's like that impressed the hell out of me.
And look, this room, very impressive. But and I'm going to say this, I don't want anybody to take this wrong, but the room was I think about 180 grand, right, for the entire room is what they were saying, right? Now, that's a shitload of money, right? I'm not going to lie, it's a lot of money, right? But when you're comparing this room to 1.4 million, 800,000, whatever it may be, it was definitely impressive for the price point. And I'm not trying to say anything was cheap by any means there, right? Or less valued there. It was a good sounding room. So Corey, did you get to hear this room?
Yes, I got a chance to hear the room, and I was kind of on the same kind of thinking. That was smooth. Actually, I was listening so hard, I wasn't really paying attention to the actual quality of the picture. It sounded great. And that bass like I said, for 4 of them hitting like that, it was some pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. Derek, do you want to add to what you were talking about on the subs?
No, well, I was going to say it was tricky. If you did not sit in that front row, I heard several people complain it didn't sound very good. The front vocals weren't right. Like, look, it is very specifically set up for front row.
Yeah, for the front MLP, right? Yeah, I think that's what it was.
And between wanting to have the non-acoustically transparent screen and showing off the speakers, I get it. But if you didn't know that and you weren't in the front row, it probably wasn't as involving and encompassing. But if you get a front row, which I got lucky enough to do, it was amazing. Like that was one of my top rooms for sure. And I didn't pay as much attention to the video as I wish I had. I was really there to hear the speakers, and I was kind of listening for the speaker power amps. I mean, those amps, those things are smoking hot deals, and
Yeah.
they sounded great for what being able to drive that room the way they did. Well, yeah, the whole package was
Yeah.
great. The Lumagen, the tone mapping was amazing. I wish I had gone back to be able to kind of really focus on the visuals more, because that was a whole nother aspect. And honestly, that's probably what Jim and Derek would have liked us to focus on, but it was a really enjoyable room. I liked it.
Yeah. Speaking of those speaker power amps, these are 400 watt by 8 amps that speaker power has. You guys can see this up on the screen, right? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Just making sure. So, just a gorgeous design. I mean, I love the color that they have for this. Took a couple.
And those things are like what, 1,500? This is the new one they announced, right? But the
Right.
one they had at the show was like 1,400, and also a $1,200 or $1,300 amp. And that was like really, really impressive for that price point to drive those speakers like that. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
8x200 at 8 ohm, 400 at 4 ohm for $1,500.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an introductory price, but still.
Yeah, that's an introductory price. So one thing they did say that red was made specifically for the show. But they said mostly it's going to come in like black, and they will do like custom colors if people ask for them. But they're well known as the powerhouse go-to subwoofer amp in the DIY community. As you know, JTR also uses them as well. So
right.
Yeah, man, they're coming into the multi-channel space. They about to make some noise with these. So I know I thought I was done with amps for a while, but
no, that is exactly what I said at the show.
Yeah.
I'm like, this might have me think about upgrading my amps, man, because what I heard, and at that price point,
that price point's great.
Yeah. They pushed those, those next level speakers, and for the price point, I think that room really, really stood out. I got a chance to listen to it twice, and I agree. The first time I sat in the back row because I wanted to capture some footage and I didn't want my camera in the way. And I thought it was good, but the second time I sat in front, and I was like, wow, okay. It sounds really, really, it sounds like a different room if you sit in front.
Absolutely.
Just confirming from Home Theater Gurus, right, that it was calibrated for that front MLP. It makes a lot of sense, so but I kind of wish they told people, so people get a chance to try to go back and sit in front row.
Right.
But it was really impressive, and I think they did win a couple of awards, and it was well deserved for that price point, because there were other rooms that were 3, 4, 5 times more expensive.
Yeah.
Than that room.
Paul, do you remember that room, or do we need to pull up your
man, you gotta have a photo.
Paul, wake up, bud. Wake up.
And see that
see, I can get Paul's usually the one messing with me, so I can mess with Paul today.
He has to. He's got to get it in. But yeah, that's a testament. If out of visiting a $1.3 million room, a $400,000 room, $150,000 room, or whatever it was, I do remember just that. I was like, wow, yeah, for price to performance. If you did a true blind test, you would be hard to tell which one was the $1 million versus $100,000 room there, and that's all in, that's not like just the audio or just this. That's, hey, this is hey, this is this whole theater, which, you know, is extremely impressive. You know, it's like, that's what was most impressive. And again, they all sounded good. And maybe I'm not as picky as you guys. Like, I don't remember even what row I sat in there.
No, I was I was trying to gather all the pictures together. I got pictures on my phone that I wasn't able to put together, so I'm still working on getting all the footage uploaded and everything else. It's just been such a busy week, so I apologize for not having the actual picture of the theater. But yeah, it was that particular theater was really well put together. You know, you know, if somebody told me, hey, we're going to put this in your house, I'd be like, by all means,
Hell
please.
Yeah.
I'll take
Right.
it. Yeah.
Well, it's funny
Yeah.
you say that. Like everybody's talking about price points and stuff, and I said it after my first year. Mikey Shrum, he's in. I think he's still in the chat. He was the one that won last year when Brett had the raffle for
The
people.
contest. Yep.
Yeah, the contest. And he said the same thing. It's like when you go to these, and I think you guys will probably agree, is like I said, our stuff at home isn't far off. It's like, I mean, you're talking percentages away from these $1 million theaters, right? So now you have a $150,000 theater down the hall from a $1.4 million theater. And yeah, it's not that big of a drop, but then you come home and you're like, and we all have, you know, we know what a good theater sounds like. We all have these things, and you come home and go, damn, I'm not far away. And like a lot of that money goes in. I say this to people all the time. All that money goes into the room size, right? Like that Christie that we'll talk about in a bit, that's for a giant room. Right. And the room that we're talking about right now, that's meant for a smaller room, and it's kicking. Right. So it's like, that's why when you come home to your smaller room and you have your setup, it's like what's great is you come home and you're like, don't be jealous of that stuff. It's like, you don't need it. You're a theater. It's like,
Yeah. I mean, to your point, I mean, Don told me about whenever we got there, and it's like, you know how I'm going to do my I'm going to do in-game super affordable theater, right? Dude, it was at my Costco, that 98-inch TLC. If you have a small room, I'm sorry, even your $400,000 projectors aren't going to touch an LED TV, you know, as far as contrast and brightness. I mean, it's just, and this is $1,600.
Yeah.
I mean, put that into perspective. You know, if your wall can only handle at max a 100-inch screen, get a 98-inch TV for $1,600, and you won't have to talk about your black levels and your is my contrast, you know, on my 200-inch screen. How much is it? I mean,
you will have to say that the sound's coming from under the TV, though. That's the only bad part about that one.
Yeah. I have that now on my projector.
I struggled with that.
There's a lot of people that do. You know? I mean, shoot. Some people have the sound coming from their actual TV, the screen.
That is true.
I mean, you know.
True. But to piggyback off of what DJ was saying is that sometimes when you get in this stuff, and you know, as you know from the past, I told you I've been in this hobby for a long, long time. So some of the stuff is diminishing returns. You know, you start looking at dollar per performance percentage of what you're getting. And like DJ said, a lot of this is going to be room specific. Just like when people say, what's better, Storm or Trinov? Well, it depends on the application that you're using them for, because they're both good. They're both very, very good processors, right? Yeah. So when you look at that, which we will get into it, I know we kind of jumped ahead, that $1.3 million room, you know, they were throwing, you know, that was the showpiece, that crown jewel, like, we're gonna put all this stuff in this room and just show you what it can do. But they really can't show you what it really can do, because that room was very, very small for what they had in there. But was it fun? Yes.
Right? And that
did it have a wow factor? Yes.
Yeah. And that was kind of my thought. Is like, some of these you're not getting to see their true capabilities, right? Like you can't whenever you have a 0 to 20, if you're in a school zone, you're not going to be that impressed with how fast the Formula One
The
car
Lamborghini, yeah.
or Lamborghini. It's just like speed limit's 25, bro. Max, you can't go any faster unless you want to go to prison or whatever the scenario is, right? You're not going to be impressed. Yeah, you might be like, oh yeah, this is good quality. This looks great. This is cool. But you only get to, it's like, okay, well, all right. That's like, I can do that in my Ford Fiesta.
I mean, I would argue though that that's true with all of those rooms, right? That
Exactly.
none of
Yeah,
them
it
were,
is. There's a
even-
lot of stuff that's
even
just
this one.
not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. So,
Well,
I think also the more I go to these shows, right, the more I tell myself, room treatment. At the end of the day, with all your gears and everything, your room treatment is just the ultimate.
all right,
If
the
you
lights
can
change.
get that the way it needs to be,
Hold up on that thought, because we're gonna give you. I'm gonna throw you a curveball with that one.
It's time to get naughty.
I know.
I'm gonna throw you a
We
curveball on
experienced
that.
it.
We got it. I have something. Hey Anthony, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. He says if you saw them, ignore the price and tone mapping. Mad VR, NZ900 or QL7000, controlled dark room, but plus want to watch TV and football with lights on at the halftime.
Man, that
There's only one option there.
QL7000, man.
Yeah, that's got to be the 7,000. I mean,
That
lights on is-
QL7000 was like you could watch that thing outside under the Texas summer, man. That thing was, QL7000. It gives
Unless,
you
of
a
course,
use
you're-
case, right?
So I want to push back on that because he said half the time. So the other half of the time, he's in a controlled dark room watching. He's going to want to watch movies. If you're watching movies critically, you got to go with the NZ900.
What's that screen though?
What size of screen though?
No, but it's what he's saying is he's got the Mad VR.
Well, he's like, ignore
he
price
says
and tone mapping. He's ignore
the price
that,
and the
like,
tone mapping.
which is better for brightness. And it's, yes, the brighter one is the 7,000, of course, but your black level has been raised. It's just not the same. So when you go down, and it's like when you try to dial that back, it's not going to be as accurate as the NZ900.
If you can still do the JVC, and when you say lights on, you can control the light quite a bit and get like, cans or shields that'll shield everything from the front of the area and just make sure nothing else is, reflective off the front where the screen is, and still go with the. Now, if you're talking daylight, like me, I have sunlight coming through, right? I have an Epson. I've always had an Epson because it's just, except when it's midnight or completely dark out, I don't have a controlled room, so that it fits my situation. So,
but he says it's a 150-inch low gain screen. I still go. Got to be the QL. The
150 is pretty big, yeah.
So,
but
yeah,
I'm gonna state my opinion.
0.7 gain, 241. Yeah.
So the NZ, and I got an NZ8 in there right now. What I'm saying is when you start getting into the bigger screens, you cannot beat that for HDR. The name of the game is brightness, especially when you start getting into the bigger screens. And if you're in a darker room, your perception of your black fluid will actually be pretty surprising. Will it be JVC blacks? No, you're gonna give that up. But once you see that, which you guys have seen it, but once you see that, if it's perfectly calibrated, it's on a bigger screen, say 160 and up, when you start seeing that the brightness on that, it make you rethink. Unless you just really team black, and which some people are just truly team black, but I've definitely rethought my position on once you start seeing, because if you look at a lot of these movies that are graded as far as their nits, and it seems like we're kind of going backwards because a lot of the newer movies that's been coming out lately have been even darker than the ones that came prior to that. So you really do need the light output, especially when it comes to a projector with a bigger screen. So based on your, again, application, one will shine for that, and one you're gonna need more horsepower for what you're trying to do. And the trend is people are getting bigger with their screens. They really kind of like throwing out the old viewing angles out the window because people want to be really immersed in the rooms versus like, hey, the side screen is based on this is your viewing angle. Like, well, that's kind of small to me. I don't think I like that very much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be dependent on so many variables. Are you team black?
Yeah, and I
team
think
bright?
for
How big is your screen? How small is your screen? How are you really a person who's all about, I want to be accurate as possible as the direct attendant? All of that stuff is going to come into play. But
yeah,
for
and
me,
he's saying for watching TV and football, like so for sports, I don't think you're worried about the color accuracy. You're not worried about the contrast. You're not worried about deep blacks when your Ravens are getting smacked, right? Pun intended.
That's all I can dig.
Yeah, so you're not necessarily worried about that, especially on a 150 plus size screen. And if you're watching regular TV shows, you're also not concerned about deep blacks, right? It's only when you're watching dedicated movies and things like that, then yeah. But it's
When you
hard
say
to
the
tell
motion,
now, man.
when you say the motion is better on the Epsons as well for that piece,
it is.
for the sporting and whatnot.
Yeah, the motion is better than JVC.
Yeah, but I would feel that would be more if you're like a gamer or something like that. I don't know that.
Oh, but for sports,
You can get ghosting for sports.
But it shows up in some films. It does.
Yeah,
and I've had both products. I've had a Epson in the old room at a 6050, and going to the NZ8, and I could tell the difference in the motion between the two products before I even sold it off when I got here.
So Corey, let's. This is something that we pointed you into the direction of the comparison room downstairs, right? So
I mean, I'm an Epson fanboy. My opinion doesn't count.
It does, but I just wanted to get with Corey because there was something that we steered him to go check out because he had the same question, right? He wanted to know about the Epson. So what were your thoughts of the Epson?
Bright, but I was actually surprised on their actual blacks. I thought that was a lot lighter than from what I've seen before. There was a lot lighter so far as the blacks go than what I saw when I was in the room watching it. I was like, wow, I guess they stepped it up because I hadn't seen an Epson in a long time.
Yeah.
Because I deal with a Sony every day. I have a Sony 5000 ES. And the blacks are pretty good on it. But I was surprised. I was surprised.
Yeah, so one thing when I sat in that room, in the comparison room, it was like, wow, I will say that in some instances that I felt that the native 4K projectors did show some detail, a little bit more detail, right? But when it comes to if I'm going to watch sports or if I'm going to watch something with a little bit of ambient light or whatever, or if I want to watch like a Bad Boys where it's shot outside, right? And you're going to get the full benefit of that bright stuff, right? I'm Epson all day long. But if I'm going to watch dark scenes like Game of Thrones or some of these other dark movies, that it's going to be the JVC. I know that's not the answer you want, but I can tell you that I was more impressed with the HDR coming out of the Epson than I was of the blacks coming out of the JVC.
Yeah.
So just to the amount of, I think they were pushing almost 400 lumens on that screen, and to see that type of brightness on a screen was amazing. It was like I was watching my panel TV as
and
far
the
as
screen
brightness.
that big too, because those are not small screens. These are big
the 165.
That's what Epson's going after. That's what the presentation was about. Is they're not even trying to compete with JVC and Sony. They're trying to compete with the panels. and
Yep.
how bright they are. And it's like, but the
Mhm.
panels can only get so big.
Mhm.
And to compete with that, how, what are you going to do? And the other thing is a lot more people are going to a media space and not a dedicated home theater. I'm always going to be a dedicated home theater. So I'm going to lean towards your Sonys and your JVCs because that's my critical viewing. If I'm going to I can use my theater to watch a sporting event, and then I'll put it on, vivid mode and turn the lights on, and that's fine. But 90% of the time, I want everything to be accurate. I want my black levels as low as possible, and I do want a projector. But a lot of people just coming into this are saying, I don't have a dedicated space. I'm going to put this like in a game room downstairs with couches and a bar area, and it's going to be more like a bar, and then I can also use it to watch movies.
That's
right?
kind of you can answer your own question, like you said, DJ. It's you ask yourself, because a lot of people will do a dedicated theater, right? And then they'll use it once every 5 years, right? And I'm that guy, right? I'm like, I know better because I've had that before. I'm like, I never just go over there to watch a movie. I'm like, I usually have parties or, I want it to be an entertainment space. It's attached to my arcade, So in that case, if you're dedicated theater and that's what you do most of the time, then yeah, black levels, probably be the way to go, right?
Yeah.
But even if you have a dedicated theater, but most of the time it's you, your buddies, and their friends hanging out, and you're not, sitting there watching a movie, being silent the entire time, actually engrossed in the movie. Yeah, I'd be upset.
You mean to tell me that you don't like sitting in the dark with your buddies watching movies?
Watching college football in the dark.
Yeah, right. It's like, hey, hand me a beer. Oh, that's not a beer, bro.
I know Fred likes to do that. Fred likes to watch football in the dark.
I mean, that's what you got to ask yourself, right? Which one are you going to do the most, right? If you want the critical, cinema movie, and that's what you do 90% of the time in that space, then yeah, the best black levels, because you're going to have the lights off and it's fully controlled, and you're going to it may not be bright, but that's okay. You don't need it to be bright. It's in a full dark room. But
that's not entirely true. I mean, so I spent a lot of time with an NZ900. Jeff Mary lives very near me. He has an NZ900 with ISCO lens. But it's only on a 120-inch screen, and it's a Stewart 1.3 or 130, and it is beautiful. It is amazing. And on that size screen, JVC all day long.
Yeah,
I've also spent a fair amount of time with a QL3000 on a 170-inch screen, and it's freaking amazing. Like I love being able to see all the detail in the black. I really do. But once you go into that larger size, you don't get that dynamic range. It's just not possible. And the DCI number is going towards 300 nits. 300 nits is going to be the new standard. It was 100. It's going to be 300. And with 300 nits is where the target is for us. It's going to be hard. I'm super hopeful that the next generation of JVC will push that level. Going to drive them to go that way, and they can figure out a way to get past kind of that 3,000 lumen area. But it is, don't get me wrong, I love the NZ900, especially on that 120, 130 inch range, even maybe up to like 140. But you go 150, 160, or even bigger, that dynamic range is
and then but to that point, it's kind of, it depends on the environment, right? Because you could also put that, QL 7000 on 120 and almost watch that in daylight.
Oh, sure.
So
Sure.
it's all
Yeah.
again. That's
Yeah, if you're in the bar,
depending
like,
on
game
the
room thing,
scenario. So because
Oh,
of
for
course,
sure.
imagine how many
Screen.
nits
Yeah, I was
that would
specifically talking
actually
about the home
produce,
theater space.
you know.
Exactly.
So, but yeah,
But Derek, that's the point we were saying before. It's like everything, is specific to its job,
yeah,
right? Like if you have a long throw
Use
distance
case
or
is
a
key.
giant screen, it's like I need more
Mhm.
brightness for this, and
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, if like JVC can retain their black level and maybe develop into the 300s, that'd be nice. From what I was hearing, I don't think that's going to be possible for a
I don't even
long
want to think
time.
about that price point.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah,
$6,000.
Look,
I'm gonna throw
I
this
sat
out
in the
there.
I sat in the JVC booth, so I went there, and I took pictures. And I know we don't have 8K yet, but let me see if I can get that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yep.
So
yeah,
I mean,
the
that was
detail,
the detail
insane.
was just sick, right? It was definitely there, right? So, I really think it is a use case, and I've already told Ike and Paul. So Seymour came out with a masking roll down screen, and I would love to go corner to corner with the masking roll down screen and the QL 7000 for football and regular TV and just day watching all day long. And then on those particular movies that I know that it's going to be dark in some scenes, like the 1917 when they're going underneath of into like the shelters and enemy camp and stuff like that, or the Game of Thrones black. I just switched back to the JVC. I know it's not practical for everyone, and more than likely, I probably would never switch back once I get to the HDR of the Epson, right? If I'm pushing 400 or 500 lumens on a 200-inch screen, who says that I'm ever going to go back? I don't
As
know.
long as you can see the detail in the blacks, that's kind of what
how many movies? How many movies really have those blacks?
Well,
right?
there's a lot.
But we always talk about the same movies, right?
Yeah.
And some of them came out 3 years ago, and you're probably never gonna watch it again, right?
Well, listen, we're going to talk about the next room that had a Christie, right? So we'll move on to that.
All right, let's move on.
Let's move on to the Christie projector, which I will tell you that
this was the cheap room, right?
Talking about Epson,
Yes.
and I'm the only one with an Epson here.
No, I will tell you that unfortunately, Paul, I don't think you made it to this room because I know Ike and I saw it on Saturday, but it was the Alcon's audio room.
I was like 4 hours back.
Yeah, you were already on your way back. But man, the projector in this room, it was a commercial projector that they are trying to bring, or they're going to bring to the residential side, and it's got some light steering or something to it. Derek, you had a little bit of information on that. If you wouldn't mind speaking on that.
It's the new variable dynamic range, and it's on the CeneLife 4425 or 4452, whatever. But that projector is going to stay commercial, but they're going to bring VDR down to the M4K15 will be the lowest it'll go. I think it has to be a 3DLP at least in their technology to be able to do the VDR. But if they are hitting the numbers they claim, which is 50,000 to 1, up from a native 5,000 to 1, that's over JVC level black calibrated. So that NZ900 I talked about on a 120-inch Stewart G whatever G3 whatever it is, that screen on that one calibrated by Chris Deering is around, I think, 30,000 to 1, 40,000 to 1 native as measured on that at that time. I'm looking at I just got this today. Anyway, it was freaking amazing.
Yeah,
Now
whatever
it's
they're doing with that VDR processing,
Yeah.
yeah, that was
I believe
impressive.
it's called Magic.
Yeah.
This was on the
Yeah.
new Dream screen too.
I was
Yeah.
disappointed that it wouldn't be coming to, to our space anytime soon. Right.
Yeah. So
the demo of it's what when they would turn it on, then they would turn it off. They call it Vader, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was the first clip they showed when the archaeologists were in the cave, and they, man, I'm like, just leave it on. Don't turn it off.
right.
Well, and the crazy thing is it's not even done yet. That's
So
still,
I
it's
feel
still
bad
early.
because we're talking
was
about
like
the projection on this place.
Like the jump from 720 to 1080p. Man. That is the difference.
Yeah.
I feel bad because we're
to-
talking about the projection on this space, but and I'm going to tell you a story. I stepped outside and I asked Matthew Pose, who designed the sound of the room and everything else. I asked him about the projector rather than talking to him about the sound. That's how impressed I was with this projector. So I mean, it to me, it literally blew my socks off. They showed the scene from the ballerina where she shoots a flamethrower, and man, I mean, it just lit up the whole room. It was bright. It was detailed. It was very immersive. It was like, whoa! I like the flame was coming at me. I don't want to take anything from the sound because I think this room is probably in my top two theaters. That I would say. So, DJ, what did you do? Were you able to take in that room?
Yeah, this is the Christie with the 400,000 projector.
No.
Yeah.
The Alcon's room.
The Alcon's room.
That was the next one.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, same thing. It was. I don't know if I'd have it in the top two. Maybe. But yeah, it was really good. But yeah, the pictures are awesome. And that's the other one is the one that really blew me away. And I can't get my head off of that one. That was
the one we're going to go to next.
Yeah. But yeah, that room, I only went in that room once and I was like, it was great, but it didn't blow me away like the other ones did.
Yeah, very, very good. So how about you guys, Derek? Were you able to see the Alcon?
Yeah, it's a phenomenal room. I really enjoyed the audio. It's my first time hearing Alcons, and I have a soft spot for line array type technology and the way that their tweeters are built can be done in that way. I really enjoy the room. The first day, which is when I saw it, it was still a little bright. Like we were talking about earlier, I wanted to go back every single day to experience the changes they made each day. It's kind of like when we were at M-Wave last year. Like Grimani, each day was a different experience. And I fortunately did get to experience that. Each different day at M-Wave in his room was different. And the third day was by far the best, but it would just be interesting to see at the trade shows. But yeah, I love that room. It was awesome.
So, Ike, you took in the demo with me. What were your thoughts of that particular room?
The sound was clean. I enjoyed the sound, but like you said, just about everybody was carried away by the projector, man.
Right. Yeah. No, I was blown away.
Sound was just the guest. The projector was like, but I think you go in there hoping to get the sound, and then you just come out talking about the projector. Because when you describe the flamethrower scene, I was like, I don't even want it that bright in my own theater. That's how good it was.
Yeah.
I was like, certain things you like to experience outside, you just don't want it in your own backyard. That's how good I was. But I was very disappointed that it's commercial grade only. But yeah, the room was good. It was. I'd never listened to any of the setups. I know at previous CD, I believe they've had setups, but I never just thought about going to see their room. So I was very impressed. They put a good room together.
So it to me, they weren't trying to over push it. You know what I mean? So that's when it became immersive for me. You know, when they weren't trying to over push it. When a door shut, you know, my back didn't feel like it was exploding when a door shut, right? So it was like more natural to me, and it actually, you know, the video brought me in, right, along with the sound that was around the volumes of what I would probably listen to in my theater, right? So I think that's why it made it a little bit more comfortable for me. Corey, were you able to take in the Alcons?
No, I didn't get a chance to go through there.
Okay. Terrence, how about you, sir?
Yeah, I thought that was my first time here at Alcons. I always wanted to hear them. You know, they got the really cool amps that you use with their system with the eyeballs on them,
Mm-hmm.
which is a shame. They said they're going to go away from that. I'm like, man, that's a really cool aspect of their designs. But yeah, I thought it was very smooth. I talked to Matthew about it. He's like, hey, man, you know, I did this room, did the treatments, definitely check this room out. And right after talking to him, I went in there, and it was a very, very impressive room. And like I think Derek was saying, I always like how ribbons sound, and usually in the home theater application, you know, you don't really see them that much because you get of the high power output that they need. You mostly see them in like really high end 2-channel systems. But the way they overly built like those ribbon tweeters that to be able to put out that kind of output for home theater and big room spaces and stuff, like it was very smooth, very detailed. I did want to go back and revisit it again because I know they did do some tweaking. I didn't get a chance to the Crick room and the Outcomes room. I wanted to hit those up one more time, but I didn't get a chance to do so. But yeah, I thought it was a great room too.
Very good. Paul, unfortunately, you were on the road for that one, but you definitely missed a good room in that one. So let's.
You called me and was like, "Oh man, you should have seen that."
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I was like, "What? There was one brighter than or better than the $500,000 one we looked at?"
So let's move on down to the Seymour Excellence Room, the SR7, the $1.3 million, 1.3, 1.4, something like that, $1 million room. I do have some pictures of this room, so and I apologize to the other people. I have pictures of your room also, but I just could not get the pictures to transfer from my phone. I was having technical difficulties with that because I'm not very technical. But so let me see if I can pull some of those pictures up for you guys. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. So Paul, we'll get your visuals for this one. You'll remember this one. I gotta get my jabs in.
Yeah, get the right. Make sure you get the right album.
It's dangerous when you're at Denver.
Look, hold on. You can't miss this one. You got to remember this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
You can't say you weren't here, Paul.
Man, look at how little that guy is.
Or how ginormous.
You know that room sounds amazing. There's Yamaha in it.
Yeah, he looks like something from Toy Story, man. Just sitting in front of the son. It's like they just put a character from Toy Story in front of the subwoofer.
So this room had the Ascendos with the new Ascendo speakers, and guys, the Halos. Yeah. So I don't want you to think that these are small. Every one of these drivers are 8-inch drivers. So this is a rather large speaker on the wall. This is their new left, center, and right. I think I heard that the retail on these, and I don't want to shortchange them, it was either $60,000 or $80,000 a piece for these.
It's 60.
Yeah. So and these are their large subwoofers. So this was the front stage. Let me see if I can pan through. Obviously, two 64-inch subwoofers in the back. and then your left center, and I mean your rear. They had a rear center in the back of here.
And that's and those. See, that was what confused me. Those literally are the exact same as what they used to label the 50-inch.
Yeah. So basically, they found out that they were measuring the actual cone when most of the industry measures, the surround and the basket, and all that stuff. So that's what
So
allowed
they
them.
started measuring from the taint like the rest of the industry does. That's, I'm like, that confused me. I was like, it really looks like the same speaker. And I think you or someone said,
You're correct.
no, this is the exact
That
same. They just
used to be the
labeled it.
50. Correct.
And I was like,
Well,
okay.
and
50.
but they did upgrade it. They have
Yes.
made changes.
Yeah.
It isn't exactly the same as Ryan's, and I think Ryan's is going to get his upgraded to it.
Oh, well, yeah, because, you can't have last year's model. I mean, God.
Exactly.
You can't have last year's 64.
This one's labeled 50, so it's not nearly as big as the one that's labeled 64.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that room. Paul, what did you think of that room since you were sitting on the couch right there next to the 64s?
It was probably overall it was the best room that you would expect, like all encompassing anyways. It wasn't necessarily my favorite audio wise room, but just overall experience wise. And it was the only one I think my ears didn't bleed in. I think this.
What day did y'all go in there?
We were there for the press conference.
Friday. We went in there Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Friday evening, actually, I think is when I ended up actually demoing it.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, yeah, I mean that was the only one. And with all that bass, or drivers, you would think that would be the one that would drive you out of there and be the boomiest, right? That probably had the most controlled bass out of all of them as well, which
and they were using Storm processing in there, so it was direct art that they were using. So it was.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. So Derek, how about you, sir? What did you think about that?
So I heard at the very beginning of the show, like literally 9:20 on Wednesday, and it was very hot on the subs that day.
That makes a difference, man.
it was hot. And I think Matt Trinkline finished calibrating it, the main calibration, at like 3 a.m. and he was still tweaking it. He left right after we went through the demo. He was spent. But I will say this, it definitely showed you the potential when I went through. It was the first time I've experienced bass where my entire internals were trying to rearrange themselves and push around. And I've been in Sheldon's room with full on mode, right? That was all 16/18s, the 24 going, the seats going full, and it was nothing like that.
Right.
But it was a little muddy. It wasn't as clean. The details were there, like all the like highs and the details, phenomenal. I've listened to Ascendo rooms quite a lot. There's some folks nearby that there's a couple different ones around here, and it's very in line with those, but just a little nicer. I still think this is another room that I really don't think you're hearing it properly until you get it into its natural, fully done room. I mean, it just isn't there. But in the projector, dude, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So what is it, 20 million to 1?
Yeah.
30,
contrast.
30.
Yeah.
It was 30 million, I believe. Yeah. It was. They calibrated it down to 320 or 350. I forgot nits, and it was bright because and that's the other thing that they showcased is in that particular one where when the lights went out and it was still full on laser, it went pure black, right? Like you could not see your hand in front of your face, right? It was just the black levels were. So this is you want the Epson brightness and the JVC blacks? Here you go.
Yeah,
They
that
had
is
a
true.
baby, and that's the G3, man.
Yeah.
This is the I tell you what, I don't know if you saw this this picture back here, but these connections, it's like you got to put your own separate chiller on or a separate chiller box for this thing.
Yeah.
It's it runs. You can actually set the chiller up away from the projector. I think they said quite a ways, because the chiller is actually really loud. But man, I mean, just to think about it is like your car, right? Like it has its own antifreeze, right? I mean, it's crazy what this thing could do, for sure.
Yeah.
So DJ, what were your thoughts on this room?
Yeah, it was the absolute. Obviously, the Ascendo. I mean, the infrasonics were amazing. I went in there a few times. I actually did a live show sitting between them, which was painful. But that aside, it is the picture. It's that G3 is just the black level that you get to, and how many times you hear, can't see your hand in front of your face. And I had said on my show, I was so excited about it. I'm like, hey, they're like 10 years away from getting this. And then I talked to later on that same day, after I'd already done my live show, I'm talking to Chris Deering, and he's like, no, it's not scalable. He's like, it's a 6DLP. You can't, this is a technology that won't be scalable to get down to that level. I was like, that's disappointing. Because it's absolutely amazing. I mean, I know if you haven't seen it, people don't believe it, but you're literally talking almost OLED contrast ratio here, and that kind of black levels from a projector. And to see that you were saying before, like the Seymour screens with the masking coming down the side, I don't know. I mean, Don, you were taking pictures left and right, and it's like, did you capture that? The difference between the black levels was hard to capture on your camera because it was so faint. It was
Correct.
Like you really don't need the masking. And Chris laughed. He hated hearing that. But how many people have the G3? So I think Chris is okay with his masking business.
Well, and he even said, look, maybe you might have some ambient light that comes back to reflect that for the masking, so that would help you in that instance also. But he even made a joke about it, like that's how black it was in there, for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, and that's what made the entire experience in that room so great. And like we were talking earlier, like if you heighten your brights, it brings even though your black levels come up, it's that contrast ratio that you want, and your eyes are going. And I've heard people say like, oh, well, your eyes are going to close down because of the brightness, so that black level is going to appear to be darker. Well, the same holds true in the other direction.
Yeah.
Right. So like if you have a really dark image and your eyes are opened up, those brights are going to feel brighter. They might not be 300 nits, but it's going to feel it because you're like, the room's so dark. So it can go in both directions. And now you're dealing with the G3. You're like, I got
that did happen in that room in the ballerina scene. I was like, we were watching it whenever the flame, I was like, oh God. I was like, okay, yeah. We went from pitch black to, oh man, my eyeballs.
Yeah.
So front row needed suntan lotion.
Exactly.
So sound wise, there, DJ, I mean, did you get the amount of bass that you wanted?
Yeah, I thought it was incredible. And it's like, to have that infrasonics, for people that say like, it's a myth, you don't really need it, or that you just haven't experienced it. And sipping blackberry, there you go.
Fruited sour.
But how clean it was too, because we've had Trinov, that we didn't really touch on that in the Lumagen room, but Trinov was running waveforming in there too. And they've had that for a little while. So Storm's coming out with their active room treatment and running that same program in there with all of that all the Ascendo subs running, and it was clean. It was
it definitely was.
It was. I wasn't there on Saturday, but it was better on Friday than it was. I mean, it was probably a little bit louder. I didn't mind it. I thought it was great, and I did love the Roger Waters that they opened up with. I don't know if you guys were there in the morning. That's what woke us up in the morning one. And it was like that base of the plane flying over and everything.
Yeah.
It was just, oh my God. So yeah.
Yeah, we were
Awesome
there
sound.
for the start of the press release, press get together, and then we dipped out for a little bit and came back to the afternoon one too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So Terrence, what about you, sir? What did you think about that room?
All right, so I did get there and watch demo it on Thursday, and like Derek said, it was hot. I found the bass to be, it was not as detailed and with the nuances. It was booming. But I know Thursday night they did go back and recalibrate it, so I definitely want to go back and give it another shot, and I was glad I did because that bass was so articulate and tight, and clean, and just detailed with the infrasonics in there. I mean, even outside of the theater, you always knew when they were doing the wormhole scene. You always knew when they were doing the ballerina scene because of the 64s were just doing what they do. It deserved what it, it was well-deserved room as far as the accolade, the praise it was getting. But let's talk about that projector. Best projector I've ever seen. Like, I mean, like you said, if you marry you put an Epson and a JVC together with the brightness and the blacks, and they had a kid, it's that eclipse.
It's still a lot more expensive than that kid.
Yeah, both of them combined. Yeah, you could set the JVC and the Epson on top of each other and still.
I mean,
what are they feeding that kid?
You're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting the best of both worlds. Too bad you gotta. I mean, it's 415 pound just to project itself without the lens, and it's 400K without the lens. And then, like you said, you gotta get a chiller, but 6 DLP. I mean, like, if you had a blank check and you want the best picture on the biggest screen possible, that's your answer right there. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
because when they went black, and I'm talking about, like they said, you can't, like, they kept saying, you won't be able to see your fingers in front of you. Man, you can see anything. I'm like, anyone wearing a white shirt was banned in that room. Like,
so the issue that I had with it is that they dialed it back so much, right? That they dropped it to about 300 lumens. I wanted to see the full capabilities, right? Because that's the issue that I have.
The image.
Well,
look, it does 50,000. It's 50,000.
I was like, I want to see the screen melt halfway
Yeah.
through the demo.
You want to see all 50,000? You want to see the sun on it, huh? You want to see all 50,000 lumens
I mean,
unleashed? You would need shades in there. You have to wear shades to watch it.
Okay, so it's like when you do
You can't handle the truth.
A projector comparison, right? If you lower the light output down on every single projector, right, to match, I feel personally you're defeating the purpose. You want to see what those projectors can actually do.
No, they
the
should
goal
be
is to go
calibrated.
home with my eyes, man. I'm not trying.
They should be calibrated to their grayscale, and then you'll have their true brightness, and you'll have their contrast ratio.
Calibrated,
right?
Not necessarily, unleashing.
Yeah, you don't just go, let's see how bright it can get, because that's like saying,
your $30 projector from Amazon could probably get bright, but you can't see anything.
Right. Yeah, the detail. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, well, is there something on the screen?
Well,
and
look, I mean, we all know that $400,000, I mean, that projector could have went a lot higher than 300 lumens and still looked phenomenal. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, but what's the point? If you're this impressed at 300 lumens, why do you even want to get to 600? What's the the goal?
Yeah.
You want meg brightness on there, right? The Meg.
I think it'd be interesting to do like in a non-trade show environment.
Yeah, of
To
course.
just
Yeah.
show what it looks like,
Yeah.
because that would be an experience thing. To like, oh, this is what 300, 400, 600 nits on a 200-inch diagonal screen looks like.
Right.
But that's like when they're trying to showcase it, nah, they're going to do 300-ish because that's the new ECI
That's
number.
the
And
DCI standard.
and that,
See,
It's
that would
like-
be hard. That's what I think, that projector, like if you had a room where you could do like two 220-inch screens or 200-inch screens, and you would do one, mid-grade or high, $20,000-$30,000 projector to that one, then you would see like, oh yeah, I definitely see the difference here, for the people
Yeah, for
that
sure.
are trying to build that full HDR
Right.
cinema 200-inch.
Yeah, I want to see
without
that
it.
thing pop, like super pop off the screen. I want to see what it can do, right?
Yeah,
like, you need to go to Jordan's and just see with that 7,000 on his 100-inch screen. What was it, 800 nits at
Wow.
full power?
Yep.
That's crazy.
I think he measured 800 nits at full power, 400 at 50%. They made him turn it down to 35% to get to 300-ish nits. I mean,
Wow.
yeah.
Here's a question for
Yeah.
DJ and Derek. This is Gen 3. Do you guys know what the difference is from Gen 3 from Gen 1? Like what the difference is in the eclipses?
I thought they said it was like the processing and the
Yeah.
chips.
and I think if you watch, Youthman just released a video where they talked to the guy from Christie, but it's also how they integrated the laser into the light engine into the DLP system.
So you're talking about the newest one that they have now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
the
the
Gen
comparison?
versus-
Gen 1, Gen 2,
Yeah.
Gen 3.
Yeah.
The newest one has the 6 DLP.
The
That's
six-
their-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Chips.
I think they've been 6 DLP for a while. It was
Have
last
they?
gen too. I think
Oh,
the
I
last
didn't
gen
think
was
the
as well.
last gen was, but
I thought
I
it
could
was
be
something
wrong. I'm
with
not
the
shopping
processing.
for a $500,000 projector
Yeah.
every day. So just this.
I'm looking for a 5 chip on eBay, but
Yeah.
save a few bucks.
So,
Yeah,
Ike, how about
for
you? What
me-
did you
Not how it works, by the way, but okay.
For me, it was I call it the science fiction room, right? Because
Yeah.
I can't afford anything in that room. The cheapest thing in the room was the screen, and it was what, like $15,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Even the damn lens, the Panamorph was another what,
20,000.
$16 to $20,000.
Yeah.
So, and I think they met all the expectations that they were trying to achieve.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us here will probably afford that room or get to experience it in our home, anytime soon, maybe if you win the lottery. But,
Couldn't fit it in my home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
would
how
have
many
to use
people
it
have
in your
a
house.
room outside the room
I would-
for that and then
I
the
would have
chiller?
to. Yeah, I would
Like,
have to.
I'd be
I would
like,
be down a bedroom just to,
yeah.
just to
I'm
store
like,
the cooler and the
Yeah.
power bank. I would be like,
Yeah.
well,
yeah.
damn.
So,
The
yeah,
whole
and
neighborhood
that's why
goes dark,
I
but
love
I've got 300 nits.
Yeah, and that's why I labeled it the science fiction room, right? It's sci-fi, it's out there for me. It's amazing. That projector was amazing. It's so unfortunate because we're not even talking about the damn speakers in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The damn speakers. And the speakers were also what was the price for? They're like $700,000.
Yeah. Yeah. I
What
mean,
a
it was.
speaker,
Well,
isn't it?
and that's, I mean, most of that's just the 3 halos and the 2 subs.
Yeah,
Right.
$716,000 worth of speakers in the room, and we're talking about the projector. But the halos. I like the concept. I don't think I want to wake up in the middle of the night and those things are staring at me. You guys know I don't even like horror movies, so
Man,
if I
all
woke
I
up
gotta say is, with the Ascendo Halos, you better be ready to see God. That's you're wearing the halos.
yeah, I don't think I would wake up in the middle
Catchphrase
of the
right
night
there.
and see that.
Those things, when you first see them, they're friggin' huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. You see all the pictures on the internet or whatever, and it's like, they do not do them justice.
Mm-mm.
They're freaking 6 8-inch drivers with a waveguide that's even bigger. I think the waveguide is like
10 inch. The center speaker is 10 inch.
10, yeah. The waveguide in the center speaker is like 10 inches. So it's just, and I don't know if that's marble, faux marble, or
Carbon
Carbon
fiber.
Carbon fiber, yeah.
carbon fiber. Yeah, but the just the way it looks like it's made out of stone, like a marble. And
I mean, look at it. You can look at it. It's half of one of these speaker subwoofer.
Yeah, those are
cabinets.
18. Those are 18s.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
those,
3/4 of a subwoofer cabinet. So that'll tell you how big it is.
I
would love to see that.
I
I would love to hear those in
AI.
a room, like a really big room where they're meant for, to really hear him shine,
those AI stuff of where they try to show like angels that have one of those angels that has like multiple eyes surrounding it, where they use AI to do those angelic characters. That's what the hell it looks like, man. It looks like one of those AI angels out there, man. It's
It look like alien technology.
yeah.
There you go, right there. That's what Bobby just said.
Yeah.
Those halos are alien tech.
Yeah.
To find out if the carbon is going to be the only finish they bring them in, or if they're going to have kind of the Ascendo standard finish as well.
That I don't know. I didn't.
I'm paying for that thing. You better give me alien look, man. I'm not paying.
One distributor I wasn't able to interview was.
Well, yeah, they might be $50,000 less if they come in regular wood.
If I pay $60,000, I want it just like that.
Corey, let's get your final thoughts on this room here. What did you think about it?
Man, I loved it. I actually saw it on Friday. Actually, just looking at the speakers, I thought the bass was just going to kill me, but it didn't. And the picture was definitely great. It really looked like a real bright television. It didn't look like a projector at all for me.
Right. Yeah, it was a good room. It really was a good room. For me, I think, and I hate to even say this, but because I too witnessed Sheldon's room and all the Kansas City tour. I did all the rooms there, and I'm going to bring up what MW says here. Let me see if I can find it. He said, what can you do with 2 64s that you can't do with one, right? So I mean, I think
twice as much.
Yeah, so
there's still room modes. I mean, you just have to do the math. I mean, no matter how. So you got to think about it. A 12-inch subwoofer can produce, 10 hertz at a volume you can't hear. But you would never say, "Oh, I only need one 12-inch subwoofer." But relative, and you debate whether you can or can't hear, the frequency regardless. But the size is for the dB and the efficiency, right? For the lower frequencies. That's what gives those advantages. But you're still getting room modes, and it's not because, the wavelength is so long. Well, it's still math. It bounces back and forth 25 times before it, creates one wavelength. But you're still going to get cancellations regardless. If
no, because you're not hearing them.
Position versus another, but it will still, if you have two forces that hit each other, they're going to cancel each other out. And that even if it's just a motion, like if two things push, the object's not going to move.
Yeah, but in that room, the 64s,
they had two of them. They had
no. What I'm saying is like they're below 20 hertz.
Yeah,
those are not staying in that room. They're all gone.
Those things were at the end of
but the other part is you kind of touched on it a little bit, Paul. Is it's the processing. they're using the active room treatment. If you only have one, you don't have
I
another
was
one
going to
to
finish with
cancel that
yeah.
out.
They're also using those to not
exactly
just cancel room modes, but other
yeah, and at that frequency, they don't have to be across the room from each other. They can literally be sitting next to each other like they were, and those sound
it's basically like, imagine you're at the wave pool at Oceans of Fun, and you have a wave maker. Whoosh, whoosh. Okay, well, if you just do this one, the wave goes here and then comes back. Well,
and that's what gives you that
over here. Now, granted, this one still does a wave out, but if you want to start canceling cross waves or making other stuff, you need the 2 wave paddles
going together. Yep, that's exactly what it is. It's the storm.
Probably Jeffrey just wanted to have 2 to
So
make it look
you
bigger.
can never have too much.
You're not even technically hearing it,
Correct.
Feeling it,
it.
So.
But I'm kind of with MW. I feel like I probably would get the same if you utilize the.
Do you need to?
Right, exactly.
No,
I'm telling you.
Do I need a $400,000 projector? No.
I'd be willing to bet Jeffrey would say for what they were doing in there, you need 2 for the cancellation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the processing doesn't work because there's nothing else in that room that's going to cancel out, and it might have sounded muddy. I know you can't hear it, but what that room is doing is, I'm telling you, that's why I'd be willing to bet. That's why
I'd love to have Jeffrey on. We didn't interview him, unfortunately. I'd love to have him on the show to explain a little bit more. That would be awesome if we could have them come on. All right, so let's we're getting close to time here, so let's try to move on to the last sound room on that side. Well, I wouldn't say the last, but because I did skip over a couple. What did I skipped over? Share screen.
You skipped over K-Array.
Yeah, K-Array. I did go into K-Array. I was impressed with their speakers. I will say that, for such a small form factor that they had, I thought they sounded really well. They didn't have a full theater setup. It was more of like a living room type of setup, which is no big deal because that plays into a lot of our homes, right? So real quick, Ike, what did you think of K-Array?
That's the one we saw on Saturday, right?
Yes.
With the small speakers, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Those things were loud, even though I feel like they were just pushing it. But I was impressed. And in that particular situation, size did not really matter, for just the way they were loud. I don't know if I would ever want to have my room sounding that loud, but it was surprising. I tend to skip over K-Arrays, but this time you kind of dragged me in there, and I wasn't disappointed. I just thought that the speakers were pushed, to a very a noticeable limit. You could tell that this guy is screaming out. At some point, I was like, "Can you just turn it down?" So,
Derek, did you check those out?
Didn't. It was low on my totem pole.
Yeah. Corey, how about you?
No, sir. I didn't get a chance to see that.
DJ?
Same thing. I just felt like it was loud, and I felt like after leaving that room, it was more like how I feel about brightness, where I want accuracy out of my projectors. And I felt like this was like, I hate to say it, like going to see an IMAX movie. We're just going to make every speaker really loud because that's what people know is good. Right. And it's like, so I'm sure they could be dialed back, or, you can tune them to your room. But if that's what you're doing, I don't know if this is what you would go for. You know what I mean? Like sometimes demonstrations can be like, well, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to sell here? What are you trying to show us? And
you said you blacklisted Abe. How did he get
a blacklisted? What did I do? What did I do?
Did he buy the first or the last round?
Sorry, guys. I got stuck in a job site trying to get the network up and running and all their cameras. And I was going to see if I could try to do it from there, but I was lucky to get their stuff working. And it's like, and then I ran back to the Airbnb to at least say hi.
No problem. No problem. We are coming to probably a wrap up in the next little bit here, but thank you for joining, Abe. Those of you who don't know, this is Abe from 3D Sound. So appreciate you for joining us. Terrence, what about you, sir? Did you get a chance to see the K-Arrays?
Yeah, I did. I thought they were impressive for the application that their target audience for what they were going for, which is all outside, backyard, for that luxury sound. And like when they showed off the Anaconda, I was in there like, why they stepping and almost tripping over this big power cable or whatever in the middle of the floor, trying to find out it's a speaker that you run it up along the tree to give you that 360 sound or whatnot. So even when we got into their theater application room, that was meant to be outside as well with the big 21-inch, and then they had other subs, another room in there. So if you're looking for something that could really output really loud, pretty good sound outside of your backyard, I think they hit I think they really do well in that space. Real quick, a trend that I noticed that a lot of the pro audio guys that do stadiums and all this stuff are coming down into the luxury audio space. I don't know, like Theory and L Acoustics, Array, and L Acoustics. I know we're probably gonna get into that, but that was an impressive demo they did too as well.
I heard it was good, but I personally didn't get a chance to hear that one. So, all right, well let's move on to the last on that side. Well, actually, let's take care of Anthony because he also wanted us just to go around the room. Assume your own.
Which one would you do?
That 9,000 or 7,000?
Yeah.
No, NZ 900 or QL 7000.
Yeah.
And sorry, NZ 900 or 7,000?
Epson or JVC? That's what he's asking.
Yeah.
Just
no, the specific ones, right? Specific models.
Yeah.
In your room.
So we'll start off with you, Terrence.
To be honest with you, I have a 160 scope. I need that brightness. So after seeing the demo, I'm more so a QL 3000 range. I really don't need that much horsepower for my screen. But yeah, and I love me some blacks, but the Epson's blacks, I can live with them. And I will throw this caveat out there. Somebody, or I can probably, like Grimani did with his Christie, I can get someone to make me modify a high contrast lens to go to that QL, and with that amount of horsepower backing it up, I think I'd be straight. So
yeah, with the 7,000 especially. I was just gonna say with Terrence, I agree. So there's like a company in Germany called Avitech or Avitech, and they make high contrast covers for lenses, and I think they're working on one for the QL lenses or certain ones because there's so many. But I would love if Epson would work on their own. I think you're right though about the 3000. Don't sleep on the 3000. That is a 6,000 lumens for most rooms is probably sufficient when you dial it back to do the calibration and all that stuff. The 7,000 with the 10,000, it can be tricky. Like if you have a micro perf or especially anything other than an ultra perf. I personally see the perf a lot easier in general than other people seem to do. Like it looks like film grain, but I just, even on that NZ 900 with the Stewart screen, I see it and all the time. But I would go probably with the 3000, but of the two, the 7,000 for sure. The dynamic contrast or the anti-contrast inner scene is sufficient for me for most stuff. Yeah, I'm sure in those specific scenes where it's super dark, I would miss it. But overall, I think I would like the other piece of it, especially as I have a 165-inch screen that's negative gain.
Yeah.
So what about you, DJ? What are your thoughts?
I'm going with the JVC. I want that black level. I want that detail. I don't want I'm watching, like I said before, 90% of the time, if not more. I'm watching movies, and I'm not. When was the last time I went to the movies and had something that bright at a movie theater? And I'm trying to duplicate the movie theater experience. With the JVC, you're getting that all day long, and you are getting some good brightness out of that too. You're not getting the same, but I mean, I'm gonna be topping out at probably 150 inch, and I'm looking right around that ballpark, anyways. So there is and I've talked to a lot of people that are like that. I've talked to people that they don't want brightness in their projectors because they're trying to duplicate that exact same thing. Yeah. The movie theater experience. So that's the way I would go.
So we'll come to the theater designer last, but we'll go to Corey now.
Yeah, I'm definitely going JBC. When I saw that 900, it was enough light for me. The colors and the blacks on that just kind of blew me away. And I'm working with the SI screen, so I'm 110 inch screen, so I don't need a bright Canon, and I got a dedicated room, so I don't need all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I'll sum it up afterwards. But Paul, how about you? What do you think?
I've already said I would go with the Epson just because I like the brightness and the, perceivably, a little bit of HDR. It's not really full blown HDR, but I will caveat, like Derek said, and the JVC undoubtedly is sharper, especially like if you pause something. Oh yeah, it's notably sharper. Like the same scene, you're gonna look like you have film grain on an Epson versus a JVC. Now, I personally don't mind that. I feel like, because I'm old school drive-in movie theater kind of guy, movies gotta have some grain in it, So I'm that guy. So yeah, I'd go to Epson.
So what about you, Ike?
Look, with the types of movies that I watch, I don't really, you guys know me, man. I'm always watching movies from the 60s or 70s or some type of movie that was shot in 1929. But in my room, wow. With sports, I watch a lot of sports. The Epson would be, if you gave me the Epson, I would take theEpson because that brightness.
So you're not going to take the JVC?
No,
if I give you the JVC?
You got to choose, man.
I'll take the Epson because I want.
Say, hey, which one would you?
Because look, I can literally just turn that thing on in the afternoon and not worry about closing my damn window blinds and watch soccer on a Saturday morning and not make it look like I'm watching a movie at night. Right. So, given that use case, yeah, but I think I would always want to look. The JVCs are just good, man. So it's gonna be. I'll go to Epson.
All right, so I'll go and then we'll go to the theater designer, Mr. Abe. So,
is that good or bad?
I think you used the exact word use case here, right? So I really believe that there's a use case for both.
We had mentioned that though.
I truly do. And Bobby Digital, he even makes mention here when you go with a bigger screen, I think you need the Epson. Right, but if you're at 120 inch screen, if you're 100 inch screen, like some of you mentioned, if you're at, I would go with the JVC. If I'm going 160 or above, I'm going with the Epson. So Anthony, for me, it depends on the size of your screen. It really does. I don't know if you mentioned it earlier and what size you
There's
were
a one,
going with.
like 150,
Hey.
160. You must go even bigger.
So if
Yeah,
you want to
just
go
with the
bigger, I would
cheaper
go with
one, man.
Epson.
The one you got a good deal with, man.
I would truly go Epson if you're going to go with that big.
Man, you need to get your dealers, set up for Epson so you can sell them one, man, and that way you could just.
Well,
like I
lucky
sell
for
both.
me, I did make that contact, and I'm in the process of doing that.
I
Hint,
know,
wink,
man.
Well, and I will say too, like you could almost, I mean, the NZ800's 600 lumens less. You could do an NZ800 and a QL3000 both for almost the price of either of these, and have the best of both worlds, like
And
Jonathan
have best
does.
of both worlds, sports and movies.
But
not it won't work for you, Paul, because your room,
that's the thing. It's like, well, at that point, it's like, I would almost just stick with an older bulb projector or something. But to get a big improvement, the 7000 would be, man, it's money,
Yeah.
So Abe, were you able to check out these projectors while you were
briefly, I saw the JVC and I went by in the Epson booth, but didn't dive into it too much. But I'm familiar with it. But I didn't get to see their full demo at the show. The Epson.
Okay. So Epson was in the Cricks. By the way, the Epson was also in the Cricks booth. I just remembered that they were.
Yeah, I think I saw it there, but I didn't. I didn't see it because they were like across from. Nick, right next to Steinway, right? Weren't they in the booth right next to it?
Yeah, they had the room next for the comparison.
Yeah, that was their comparison room. Yeah.
Yeah. My feeling between the two is I kind of like the JVC. I mean, that's a native, that's a 3-chip DLA, native 4096 by 2160. I like that. I don't know if the Epson's definitely not a native 4096 by 2160.
It's a 4-way shifter.
Yeah, I think it's but that's a minor thing. But I just personally like having that native resolution on it.
Yeah. You do see the sharpness. You do see the sharpness difference. I mean, I noticed it even in their own comparison.
Shootout. Yep. Yeah,
I saw the sharpness difference, right?
But use case, like you said, where use case definitely. What's the size of the screen? What's the ambient light? There's a lot of other factors there. Distance to the screen, a lot of other factors. But between those two particularly, and even though the QL7000, very nice projector, plenty of light output. A little pricey for my taste for what I think it delivers, but for not much more, you can step into some. You're 40,000 for the QL 7000.
No, 32.
32. Okay. Yeah, man.
32 plus 2,000 for the lens, so 30.
Yeah. Okay. So we're getting close to where, actually not that much more money, but still a lot more money. You can be going into Barco territory or something of that nature. But JVC out of those two, but QL7000 is still a great projector.
Yeah.
I do want to mention, did you guys get a chance to go into the JBL synthesis room?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Because they were using the QL7000 on that 200 scope screen in there. And they look really good, especially
and it still looked really good.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
You can throw that thing on the huge screen.
Yeah.
You can throw it on your wall and it'll look good.
It's a great projector. So neither one of these are bad choices. Just they're nuanced.
Oh yeah. And you know what? If you really wanted to, I'm thinking about this now. Let's say you go with the slate screen. You could drive those blacks down on the Epson too. So if you were to go with the slate
but
screen,
you do sacrifice a little contrast when you do that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Your reds are going to be just a slight bit washed out. It's the only problem with that screen. Which
I mean, we're comparing length versus girth. So
actually,
I mean, there's a time and a place for both. I
don't know what that.
Leave it to Paul.
Just saying. Hey.
All right. Well, let's hit the other. Let's hit the last room on that floor plan, which I believe was the storm.
Oh, did y'all have like a floor plan? I missed all the good fun.
Yeah, man, you missed a lot of the
I'm sorry. I was hoping I could get out of that job site, man, but we didn't get out that job site till like 10 o'clock.
So this was the storm room. What the SR6? I forgot what speakers were in this bottom room here.
That was a PMC.
Yeah, PMC. Yeah, that's it.
You're
Oh
sure?
yeah.
And the storm room was
Yeah.
PNC?
Yeah, there was
Oh,
there was 2 storm rooms. One of them was the Ascendo, and then this was specifically set up by Storm with the PMC speakers in it.
okay.
And then the Ascendo was in the other room. But yeah, so what did you guys think about that room? Who wants to go?
I didn't make it in there.
You didn't make it in that
After Ascendo and Storm, what do I need that?
Is that the one with the big infrasonic sub behind the screen?
one. No, that
No,
was the Ascendo and
No, he's
Storm.
talking about the
Next
dais.
to it. Okay.
He's
Yeah,
talking about the
sure.
dais. The
Oh,
60
that
inch
was-
dais.
He's actually right. The PMC did have the big 60-inch
The infrasonic one.
there's
behind
my infrasonic behind it, and it had a barcode in there for the
it.
projector.
It had a barcode, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
it
It's
was.
the very first one when you went down that aisle.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
What barcode was it?
It started with an N. The
Nervous. It was
Nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is by far, absolute from the whole show, my favorite projector.
It was a
That's a
great
great projector, and I've got one already expect to go in the house. They're still trying to get those out of manufacturing, so hopefully
The dune scene in that room was like it did capture the brightness of being out in the desert. It was really really sharp.
Yeah.
That was a really good sounding room. I know a lot of people couldn't get in because it was jammed up with a lot of appointments only, and that's why a lot of people didn't get a chance to demo it. But I was my first time hearing PMC. I always wanted to hear him, and that was a very very good demo room. Yeah.
Derek, were you able to take that one in?
I was not, unfortunately. That was again another training.
Yeah. Corey?
No, I didn't get a chance to see it.
Paul, I think that was one of the last ones that we saw.
Yeah, and man, like I said, I really need a picture to remember.
I think the PMC speakers were like horn style speakers, correct?
They were EMC or PMC? Was it
PMC.
PMC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember we went there, but
I
honestly,
remember
I
them. They
don't
were-
remember. I don't remember much about them. I need to check my videos, and that's probably not good. But I don't think that's because you didn't give me any good impressions or whatever. But I just don't remember.
I do think it was a bad choice to put 2 different vendors with 60-inch plus subs next to each other.
Yeah.
It's just going.
Yeah.
Whose sub are you hearing?
Which one are you feeling?
Feeling.
Feeling,
Or hearing,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, feeling.
Yeah. I mean, this room, I enjoyed this room. You know, I thought it had good sound to it. I did enjoy the projection also in this room. I will say I didn't like it as much as I did the 2 Christies for as far as projection. But overall, I thought the room sounded well. I don't think they tried to blow your eardrums out either, so which was nice, you know. And I thought everything just was blended very well together in this room.
What projector did they have in the room?
The Barco.
Barco.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So that's the room with the barcode.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about
I
you,
like
Mike?
about it, too, the
I know you
Barco
saw it, but
I was saying the barcode was really quiet too because I was on the back row and there's those studio chairs,
Yeah.
and it was right over my head, and you couldn't even hear it.
Yeah, I saw the barcode. I saw that last year. It is a really nice projector.
Yeah.
so let's talk about the JVC room, right? The JVC synthesis room that was in the
JBL.
sorry, JBL room. I apologize for that.
Yeah, that's one I wanted to go to, and I never did make it.
Yeah, that was in the big Harman demo. I mean, they had a ginormous footprint on the show floor. DJ, were you able to make that?
No, I didn't get into that one.
Ike, how about you?
I don't think I did.
You did with me, so I know you
I
did.
did.
You were holding my hand, and
They're all blending together.
Oh, okay. So yeah. That's the JBL synthesis, the one, the white room right in the middle of the
Correct.
showroom.
Yeah.
Yes, that one was very impressive. I remember now. That was really impressive because
See,
we
these
took
pictures,
the
man.
video outside
You know
and then walked
how much we've
inside.
done since last week.
Well, Paul, I know you didn't do this one because
Yeah,
you were on the road.
that was impressive. We did that one. Yeah, and it's classic JBL, right? It's
Yeah.
like you can. I don't know if JBL can disappoint you,
Yeah.
except if the calibration is just done completely wrong, right? So it's almost like this is what I expect from JBL.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
You know, it's classic for me. You know,
Yeah.
so
And that's a lot of them, right? You know, you're just like that's the thing. So a lot of this is, you know, $1.3 million is an amazing theater, but
I remember the $100.
no, I don't.
yeah, that's what he remembers.
Oh gosh,
That's
man,
funny.
too funny. I like it. Thank you for that laugh, MW.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how about you, Derek or Corey? Were you able to make it into the JBL rooms?
No, I stood in line and then had to bounce right before I got in. So
Actually, no, I didn't make it.
Terrence?
Yeah, I made it. Like I said, the QL 7000 and Lumigen in there for the processor, and like I said, it's classic JBL. I mean, it was a nice sounding room, but I would put the other ones. They had a better showing than JBL as far as their sound, in my opinion.
So, Mr. Abe told me that I had to go listen to this one, and I'll be honest with you, I hadn't heard a JBL synthesis room before, and I was really impressed with it. I will say that I thought everything blended really well together. The highs were a little bit bright for me, but just because I'm not that with that particular speaker, but overall it did sound. Yeah, there you go. Like it did sound very good. It presented itself well, like you said, with the 7000. It really did well. And Abe, I know you were a fan of it because obviously you drove me to that. So what were your thoughts of it?
Well, I thought it was good. I mean, given these guys have to rush to get these rooms set up for the show, I thought they did a good job with calibrating it, and it sounded good. But I could definitely tell you, like, what I heard from Mr. Long's synthesis system we put in, I would think would give that demo room a run for its money. So, which is the difference between when you have like a week to do, 3 or 4 days of calibration and really spending the time to dial it in, listen to different source material, as opposed to say a couple of days at a showroom floor. So
Right.
Given that, I thought they did an excellent job, but I think there's probably was more headroom that they could have, if they had more time, they could have dialed it in just a little bit more. But but classic JBL sounded great. I've been a loyal synthesis dealer for 20 plus years, so definitely love what they produced, and I like the cohesiveness of it as a system, that it's all integrated, engineered together, from the amplification, the preamp processors, the speakers. They do a phenomenal job of making it as a complete assembly, a complete kit. It really works real well.
So I want to move to downstairs real quick. There's 2 rooms that I'd like to talk about outside of the Epson room, which we've already talked about. One of them was the Lindorf room, and then the other one was Theory Audio. Did anyone make it to Theory Audio? Because unfortunately, I didn't make it to Theory Audio.
Yeah, I made there. Yeah.
But how did that sound? I did get some pictures up on the top floor of some of the equipment that they have, and my goodness, it's gigantic. I mean, some of the stuff they have there is true concert speakers. It was just. I mean, look at this subwoofer. This is one of the subwoofers.
I remember that one. Yeah, that was
that's the one with the 221s in it. That's a prototype that they still.
I got to add onto my house for that.
Yeah, I don't think that one's actually ever going to go to production.
Prototype, man.
Hey, if you're gonna stuff your garage with something, it might as well be that, right?
Yeah. So these are some of the sound bars they had, and just regular speakers. But yeah, I was impressed with the looks of them. I didn't hear them, unfortunately. But Terrence, what were your thoughts with Theory?
Very, very impressive, man. Like,
Interesting.
It was amazing how when Paul, I don't know if he, maybe Abe can say, was Paul the owner of the company? That was doing the presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he did a great job with the PowerPoint presentation and going out and discussing all the products. So he started off with the 6 and he went into the 8 and just show how they put that same speaker in so many different their products. And it's even the pendant speakers they use, because he did a lot of 2-channel, and the 2-channel was just very, very, very impressive. And even in a room that they were in that wasn't really the best shape for sound, and I mean it definitely was impressive. I believe that he said they use PowerSoft. They designed their proprietary amps that go along with their speakers, because you only can use their amps. You can't use outside amps with their stuff. But I mean, you could put together a really, really nice system for what they do. So yeah, they would definitely impressive.
Yeah, and I'll echo that. The 6.5-inch speaker they have, whether it's the in-wall version, the pendant version, it's impressive. And they just came out with a 5-inch that is almost as impressive. It's not quite as impressive.
The output that they can put out and still have that clarity, and the output wasn't like usually, you associate something that's that loud. It's like, oh, that's annoying when does it get up to that kind of SPL. But it was even at that the loudness that they were playing at was still really smooth and just clear. It's so crystal clear.
Yeah. Some people have commented they felt it was a little bright. I didn't have a problem with that. It wasn't bright in my opinion, and it's a bad room. I mean, it's a half cube, but I've also been able to hear the main theories at in an actual theater, and it's good stuff. And the pro audio version I've heard as well. They're impressive. I don't know if the price, like I don't know the exact pricing, so that's I know MW mentioned in the comments that it's kind of L Acoustics kind of pricing. I haven't seen a comparison between them, so I don't know like if you had one side in the same room what they would sound like, but I think it'd be a great speaker, especially for like distributed home audio, especially for that.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that I didn't get to see that. I really wanted to make time to see them, but that would have been the first time I would have heard them. But yeah, I'm definitely going to make a beeline to them next time I go anywhere that they're showcasing. So
just go to DFW and see Taylor.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
So before we touch on Lindorf, I want to apologize to any other vendors out there that we just didn't have time to make it to or talk about tonight. As you guys saw, that the CEDIA room is just, like I said, my one word is overwhelming, right? I mean, it's just tough to get to everything. It gets tough to get to every demo and everything like that. So especially within when you got to catch a flight on Saturday, I didn't have the full day Saturday either. I was only able to stay like maybe 2 hours we stayed there, right, Ike?
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's tough to get everything in, on that particular weekend or Thursday through Saturday. But I want to talk about the Lindorf. For the most part, the Lindorf room was appointment only. So I don't know if you guys made it to that. They did open up to the public in the afternoon after 4:00. But Ike kind of touched on something that earlier about room acoustics. And I can tell you that this room was a large room. It was divided into 3 sections. Big open concept for 2 of them, and they literally, for their theater, they had a curtain dividing the room. Okay, so 0 room acoustic treatments. I
and
just
it
want
was
to preface
still
that.
the
Yeah.
best
Stereo
sounding
room.
room.
Yeah.
I
It
want to
was
preface it that there was zero room
Yeah.
acoustic treatments in this room.
not
And I'm
even a
gonna
cheap $5 one from
Yep.
Amazon.
Nothing. Well, except for
Oh.
the curtain, that little thin ass curtain they had in there.
So yeah, so I'm going to show you some pictures of the of just this. I didn't take a I didn't think to take a wide
now
shot.
he pulls up the pictures. Wow.
So in the first part of the demo, they
That
introduced
sound
this.
bar was amazing.
They introduced this $40,000 sound bar that Ike and I they played the demo of Maverick and the plane flying over, and everybody that was standing there was probably 20 people standing in front of this sound bar. Everybody looked up
We were
as the
looking up.
plane flew over their head, and it just went beyond their head, and everybody turned around looking for more speakers, and there were none. So not only is this thing beautiful, but it really did sound phenomenal for a soundbar. DJ, were you able to make it down here to this room?
No. I've heard them before. I wasn't able to make it down there though.
Dude,
Terrence, how about you?
That's
No, I didn't. That's one room I missed. Was the limo.
that sound bar is not technology, it's witchcraft.
It's witchcraft.
I don't know what it's not
Yeah,
technology.
I agree with you.
I don't know what they did there, but they literally had us looking.
It was insane. It was very insane. I had never been impressed by a soundbar ever. That one definitely blew me away.
This particular one, it sounded better than my original 5-channel setup that I had. I'm not going to call any brand name, but it's out of respect.
Yes.
I don't want to catch any flack for that too, but it was impressive, and it's classic. It's classic Steinway, right? And Lindorf, and I'll let you continue.
Yeah. So we listened to that, and then there was another part of the room that they had another company in there that they were partnered with that they use a technology to vibrate. I mean, granite and make sound coming out of it, which was just unbelievable in itself, right? So, and I was looking for speakers behind it when we went into this theater room that we're at, but I mean, it's first world problems, right? The customer don't want to see a TV hanging on their $100,000 piece of granite that they put up on their wall, so they made it to where the actual granite can vibrate, and they take cameras and put cameras all inside of the granite, and then they cut the hole out for the TV. Well, they take like a 8K resolution of this actual of the granite itself, then they place the TV in there, and then the camera evaluates with AI the light for going from this way or this way, and they make the picture match exactly on the television as what you're seeing for the granite. So everything just blends together. It was just really amazing
Solid
technology.
slab.
Yeah, it looked like a solid slab of granite. But let's get to this theater room, because the to me, so after talking to Klaus, this was $128,000 sound, not projection.
There's no way I would have guessed that, man. I would have said
$128,000 sound. It doesn't include the projector or the screen, but it had three-line array, as you can see here, line arrays, and then they had these were their on-wall speakers. How shallow they are. They did have some wides, and you can see the stacks of 15-inch subwoofers that they had there. This is their Atmos that they had. They had only four Atmos speakers set up, and with just the back boxes, and these were their rear surrounds just floating in the air. And I don't know, I can say that with the room being wide open, this is the center channel. This is what the center channel looked like. The other ones were the left and right. You can see that they're side by side compared to on top of each other with the center, the drivers. So All right, and this is this is what they use. That's the MP60 with the Lindorf MX8 amps that are 400 watts per channel, and then they had they were using these amps to drive the subwoofers also. So, Ike, your thoughts, sir?
I don't even know. I don't even know what to say, because I think if I say it, I feel like I will be exaggerating if I tell people how impressed I was about the room without the treatment and just the way it was, just like an open space with a curtain. But whatever that Lindorf, that MP60 does in calibration, that room perfect, that thing is a hidden gem, man. It was really impressive. If you ask me to guess the price, of the speakers, I would have said $500,000, but it wasn't even $200,000 worth of speakers in that room. And I'll put it this way: if I win the lottery, the way you guys are gonna know is I'm gonna upgrade to Lindorf. So if you ever see me upgrading my speakers to Lindorf, then like, yeah, I won the lottery.
So, Paul, you get the
I can't imagine if they had like any of the SR rooms with the treatments and everything. That would be perfect. They need to do that.
So, Paul, you also got to go to this room. What were your thoughts?
On the way to this room, I heard Abe. You said that Abe said it was the best, and I was like, man, he's voting with his eyeballs. Those are probably the best looking things. I'll judge it when I get there, and because whenever you're around millions of dollars of things, you get persuasive. But after I was there, I leaned over to Don and I was like, well, God damn it. I guess I can trust Abe. I was like, yeah, this one's the best sounding room. And it wasn't, I will say this, that room, it wasn't for bass heads, they'd probably like, this room sucks. But if you want immersion, quality, clarity, we're talking the thing that impressed me the most. The only way you're going to get this is with headphones or a very well calibrated room. And there's no friggin' room treatment in this. The Bond scene,
I was just
where
about to go
the
there.
lady was saying, James, right? If you have a good enough sound system, that sounds like you're in a giant cave, because they want her in that scene to make it feel like she's alone and vulnerable, right? And then the more James starts speaking, gets closer and more closed in, right? And you clearly hear that. And that's none of the gunshots, none of the bass, none of the anything. It's just the way the whole system, integrated together, and that's not a scene, that's not a scene people talk about. It's like demo scenes, but I'm telling you, man, that like just in that little scene, whenever she's screaming and she's whimpering or whatever, she's like, James, and it's just, you could just hear that it's just like this. I'm alone.
And even when the glass was breaking, right, with the gunshots and just falling to the floor, it was almost like you could account for every glass that hit the floor.
Yeah.
That is how it was. It was like the more it just drops, it's almost like you could point and like, wow. I don't know what they did there, but it was impressive.
It was to me, audio wise. I mean, their projector setup relative sucked. Like, it was washed out. I don't think
were
it
not
was
there
calibrated, but it did justice.
Yeah, I mean, they left the lights on when they showed the demo.
Yeah, exactly. And that's probably, that's probably what it was.
If you noticed,
they had the lights on whenever
they didn't even
trying to show our projector or whatever.
Right.
Trying to get you to, hey, here's what's happening, and this is the audio.
So,
and like you said, $127,000. And whenever you say it wasn't, that was for the entire system. audio wise. That wasn't just the speakers. That was the
amps,
all
processor,
the
everything.
And the
all the
processor,
speakers, all
everything.
the. So if you
Subwoofer.
were like, hey, I'm installing all my speakers and wiring and blah 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 and cutting the holes in my drywall, $127,000. You got a system that I thought was better than any one of them on the showroom floor.
So, Abe, what were your thoughts?
I absolutely loved it, and it was the first time in a while that I heard something that just got to me. I was like, "This is perfect." I really enjoyed what I heard. The depth, the clarity, and like I said, the immersion of it. Just like that scene you talked about, Paul, where she's in the car and they're firing on them, and all the bad guys firing, and she's playing with them. It was so well done and so well crafted. I mean, you really felt you were sucked into that thing. I mean, like you weren't here, you were lost. You definitely could fall lost into the movie without sitting there concentrating on the speakers, or what they're sounding like. I was super impressed. And as much as I love JBL synthesis, that one that got to me. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And so, we're working on a theater now where I think I'm going to put something like that system in. I don't know if we're going to do that as big as what they did there, but I have to give kudos to Adam Pels, who's the guy who calibrated that system for them, who's one of probably the best guys out there for audio calibration. What he did to that room, given the fact the room had nothing, was amazing. So I have to give some credit to him, because I don't think it would have sounded as good without the work that he probably put into that calibration based on how bad that room was. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
And
look, there was no.
I've told you guys that, I own an MP60, so I didn't want to go first on this, right? I mean, obviously I made the build up here, but I own the MP60, and I tell you that I have no room treatments right now, and I'm happy with the sound that I have. I will say my bass, after coming back from CEDIA, my bass is a little is boomy, and it needs to be tamed down. But with 0 room treatments, I can get close to what I heard there, which is, for me, impressive. With just the room treatment, with just the room perfect. So my vote too was the Lindorf, just because of the room and the pure. I actually got spatial audio out of that room in the seats that I was sitting in, and I did sit in a lot of the MLPs in these rooms, so I actually got spatial audio where stuff was moving around me in that room.
Yeah, that was probably like only one of 2 or 3 rooms that had spatial audio, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you could really tell, because some of the other rooms you sat in there, you're like, okay, what's going on? But
you knew the sound was coming from over there, but it didn't envelop you, right? So, well, look, I definitely appreciate all of you guys for joining us tonight. DJ first time, Corey first time, Derek first time. You guys are always welcome. If you ever want to come back on and just talk shop, right? Absolutely. You got the link.
We can battle JVC and Epson all night.
Yeah.
we definitely appreciate it.
I'm glad we didn't get to Client Escape, but that's
I just want to say I just want to say one thing. I had a great time hanging out with Don and Ike and Paul and show, and Derek. It was a pleasure meeting you there, and Terry. I don't know if I think I met you there as well.
No, we didn't get a chance to meet.
Okay, but just saying, I had a great time hanging out with you fellas. It was a very fun. Definitely, hopefully, we could do it again next year.
Look who! Before we jump off, look who we got. We got Mr. Rob next level design.
There he is.
He was like, wait a minute. You got.
I was listening to you guys. I'm like, wait. I'm jump in. Say hi, you guys.
No, absolutely. No, we wrapped up with the Lindorf room. Not to take anything from your room at all, but we the price point that you put in that room, you had a phenomenal room. I mean, you could push it to any level that you wanted to with your speakers. I just felt that we got a little bit more immersion in the Lindorf room. But not taking anything at all from you guys, and obviously by winning the award, people thought that also, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I mean,
What I
well,
said.
I mean, completely well said. Yeah, we're super proud. I mean, this is an entire win for that sound room, from the cables all the way through, Lumagen, which is more than just video. I mean, all the audio was going through there as well. I think next year, what we like to try to do is switch it up and do acoustically transparent to show what it would be when the center channel is placed properly, behind the screen at the proper height. Yeah, the biggest issue was trying to get it to be consistent across the rows, especially that back row, which we were kind of telling people was like, if you want to just get a sense of the room, go to the back row, but really kind of funnel through. Obviously, the front row was kind of the money row. The second row, we had to get people to kind of lay down so that center channel can kind of make its way up. But next year, we're gonna try to push to get that center channel exactly where it needed to be. But I'm glad that people loved it. I'm glad that people understood what we were kind of trying to do overall, which is to basically show people what can be done without having to spend $1 million+ right? I mean, this stuff isn't cheap, but it's also not $1 million. So so if people came out of that enjoying it and seeing what different manufacturers are kind of doing in this more obtainable space, then I think it was a win across the board.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And like I said, you're talking, I compared like it's you got these are all the Olympians of the stage, right? It's like the even if someone said, oh well, this was my least, this was 1 through 5, this was the number 5. Well, number 5 beats everything else,
they're
like,
all good.
Down,
they're all good. You're just splitting hairs.
Yeah. It's just like, if you gotta rate them, everybody, and that comes down to personal preference at that point. Honestly,
no real bad decisions there anywhere.
Yeah.
No, there's no real bad decisions. I mean, what we do love about our speakers, because besides the compact form factor, I forget who was kind of saying it. I guess those horns were likened to being smooth. Like, that took a lot of work. Horns are not traditionally smooth. A lot of output.
That's what I said.
Frequencies, they're not known to be smooth. So we had to do a lot of work there.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest claim to fame is that they take so easy. I mean, Adam Peltz is an absolute magician. But they take so easy to calibration. You can pretty much get whatever signature profile you want. Do you want it to sound like Hermione? Do you want it to sound like JTR? Do you want it to sound like this? Do you want it to be more open? Do you want it to be more reserved? Do you want more
even dispersion?
Impact? Do you want? You can kind of tailor this to your own specific needs or a client's needs if you happen to be a dealer. So that's kind of what we love. It's kind of like a blank canvas, and it's like, okay, do what you want with it. It's not going to limit you in any way, shape, or form. You can go as loud as you want. You can go as quiet as you want. These things aren't going to break up. It can pretty much reproduce any frequency that you toss with it. So just make it whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Rob, I think the sheer fact of the SPL levels that you could get out of your room impressed me very much. But I think your subwoofers impressed me even more.
Say that.
Crazy. And I just learned something today, guys, so here we are. It's like, oh yeah, we're doing waveforming, and then we learned that nope, we didn't do waveforming. Did you guys see that? So it turns out that we weren't doing waveforming. We were just doing 4 subs in a room.
Oh wow.
So I confirmed that on AVS forum, basically because of the room and the room construction. It was actually better and more uniform, at least for this application, to do non-waveforming. And I mean, that's just 4 subs in a room calibrated, right?
Yeah,
nice.
So that's we were honestly, we kind of impressed ourselves. I was like, is this bass just hitting like unbelievably hard, or like do we have like like 35, 35-inch like subwoofer somewhere that like I just don't know about. it was pretty impressive. And those high velocities are just, I mean, they're just so impressive and so clean, and they can hit as hard as you want. I mean, I don't know if you guys got to see it because unfortunately we were having some handshake issues, but there's the music track from Trinov. It's the music box, or it's number 2. And that last section of the track just hits so hard that you just can't believe that those are only 415s. If you haven't heard that track, if you happen to have Kaleidoscape, download it. If you're on YouTube, I would definitely download that because that second version, unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. So I'm glad that people loved it, and we love doing it. And the fact that you guys are talking about it, I think is absolutely great. I mean, this is why we do what we do, is to spark interest and spark this like home theater community and get people talking and excited about home theater. So I'm very, very appreciative to all you guys.
No, we appreciate you. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the show, we really thank you for helping us with, helping us get to get into the show and everything else like that. So we really appreciate that. We
Sure.
and that's the we wanted to pay homage to you and do our little 15-minute spiel from your booth over there. So we greatly thank you guys so much. We appreciate the hospitality, and we'd love to do it again.
Oh my God, you don't even mention it. I mean, honestly, we're more than happy to help out. I mean, every year, especially when you do a room like that, they give you a bunch of comps, and we're like, okay, who wants them? So we're more than happy to kind of help people kind of get in, and we're just all about sharing the home theater love. So if you guys ever need anything, just always let us know. So I just wanted to stop in and just like really thank you guys for covering all this. I think it's absolutely awesome. The fact that we got some recognition from ABS Forum is outstanding considering the competition out there. It's a big, big win for everybody involved. We're super stoked. And again, want to thank you guys. And with that, I'll let you guys get back to doing what you're doing. I'm actually heading off to bed. It's about 12:30 in the morning over here.
That's what we were doing.
We were getting ready to head off to bed too.
Lights are out.
DJ's like, what did I sign up for here? I'm supposed to be in bed hours.
I know, right? Yeah, but I'm sure next week we're still gonna catch up on
Rob's pulling and Don. Wait, one more thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, look, we appreciate you.
Next week we're going to continue to talk about CEDIA. Still
we will.
Other
we will
things we
definitely
experience.
talk more. Yeah.
And
Next
maybe
week we'll still.
maybe we can finally get to edit our videos, man. I haven't even.
I'm waiting to see those. I'm relying on all your reviews. So
I can't wait to see all those too. And DJ, we gotta set up a time, my friend, because
I know.
We got to get you over here.
Yeah. Not. We were thinking about tomorrow, but that ain't gonna work. So probably next.
That ain't gonna work tomorrow.
Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll probably do next. Friday.
Now that we kept them up to 12:25.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm
all right, guys. I appreciate your time.
Hey, Rob, this is the last time I'm on your show, guys. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Look, DJ, thanks again for joining. First time. I appreciate you hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Look, I'm a big fan of your show. As I mentioned to you, as soon as you walked on the bus, I yelled out, to take or something like that, right? So I thoroughly enjoy your show. I don't, like Steve asked in the comments or asked on your show, do I watch it on the regular as like on the live? And most of the time I'm taking my son to speech at the time that you're on there. So I do watch a lot on the replay. Saturday I work another job and I load my truck and trailer, so I listen to your show and spend a lot of money on Saturday listening to your show because Steve and you guys are recommending fantastic movies. So those of you that I'm sure Brightside Home Theater, but if you don't, make sure you go out there and you go to his podcast and listen to it. I love takeover Tuesday shows, when you get down and personal with everybody. I know you're not doing as many of those right now, but
They're coming back. But yeah,
hopefully they will come back. So but yeah, you got a fantastic podcast over there. So those of you that don't listen to Brightside Home Theater, make sure you go over and check him out. He streams it live on Tuesday afternoons. What time, DJ?
4 p.m. Eastern.
4 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Yep. And then where can they catch you for all your replays?
YouTube channel Brightside Home Theater, and mostly it's been a podcast, so audio only comes out on Fridays. It's basically the live show, and then the Tuesdays Takeover Tuesdays come out on Tuesdays when they start dropping again. So those are audio only. So that just, that way when we get people on, it's like, because I'll have listeners on, I'll have like experts in the business on and stuff like that. And, keeping it level, because some listeners don't want to come on, they're shy and stuff, but everybody wants to talk home theater. So we have like everybody from the full spectrum, listeners all the way to experts. So a lot of fun. Thanks.
Well, we definitely appreciate you joining us, Corey. It was a pleasure meeting you at CEDIA. We really appreciated you stopping us and having a couple drinks with us. Derek, we didn't get to spend as much time as we would have liked to, but definitely appreciate, reaching out and trying to coordinate with us. Abe, thank you so much for the hospitality, for some appetizers and inviting us up to the rooftop bar. Thank you so much. And Terrence, we ran into you also. Thank you guys so much for all the support for the show. We really appreciate it. Ike and Paul, you got anything to add to that?
No, we're looking forward to having Corey back on the show so you can show us your home theater. So, no, we'll try not to keep you up till midnight.
I was going to say, I have lots to say, but it's late. So.
And, I think also, just for today, we covered the sound rooms, right? I'm sure next week we're going to talk about other cool stuff we saw. I know Paul saw some tech stuff, the new Matt VRs that came out, and just different. You did some acoustic from star ceilings.
I
visited the Yamaha booth. I know you.
The Yamaha booth. So there's plenty of amazing individual things that we'll talk about, next week and other weeks. And hopefully we can also get to editing videos as much as I hate doing that. But we'll pick back up. This is just day one.
We also need guests for the show, right? So we need some. I don't think we have anybody lined up for a home theater tour. Maybe we can get Corey lined up for that pretty soon. But if you would like to be a guest on the show, please send us an email to hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. And then all that usual YouTube stuff, like, share, subscribe to all of our channels that you see here. DJ, Brews and Views, Easy HC Tech, and Horizon Home Theater. We really appreciate all of you guys for joining, and thank you so much for the support to those of you that we've seen out there at CEDIA. It was very humbling, so thank you so much.
For sure.
All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
If you guys want to hang on to the green room.